Yeah, everything comes everywhere. I'm missing one. Why am I missing one? What have I done? When did I forget? Let's not once again misclick, that would be so much annoying, and instead let's go there. And we're almost done. And actually I have not lost as much time as I thought. Only 50 minutes late. That is not acceptable by any means, but I was actually expecting to be even later. So technically speaking, I'm somewhat happy with it. But that's because I actually had to get myself something to eat. Because you see, I am a unbelievably smart person that had completely forgotten about the simple. I was like, let's finish this. Then just, it's Friday. Let's get ourselves a pizza, shouldn't we? So I was like, good idea. Now I'm finished. And then I was like, oh shit, you can't get pizza because you can't get it heated up. I was like, okay, guess I'll have to order one. So far, so good. My idea was not bad. Just the amount of time it took for the pizza to actually get here was a bit annoying. Well, can't change it now, can I? Then what I was eating is I actually for once I kind of booked on another backlog. Actually, I have watched The Honeymoon. It was kind of fun. I admit that much. I laughed somewhat heartily, which is always a good sign. Now, you come here. We change this around, and then we're once again doing some good old-fashioned booty hunting in the most obvious way imaginable, namely bounty hunting. I'm sure we're gonna get some, and yeah, let that sit somewhere. Now, in case you forgot about the last time, let me give you the quintessentials. Basically, we have got access to twin elms. Still haven't met those hot twins, but I'm sure they are somewhere. We managed to get ourselves access to the rest of the city, because for the moment we were only allowed the first area, and then we have decided to travel around a bit more and see if we can get any more sidetracked, because, of course. So we did a few bounties, and we got another set of bounties, 4 to be precise, in this little list that we are now going to start working on. And well, that's basically what we're going to start with. We're going to do this, and then we're going to go back to Twin Elms and see what else we can do, because technically speaking, there's a reason why I have this little cunt in my team instead of my usual people. And, well, mainly the reason is that he is somewhat the kind of person who is responsible for, or who we need to actually get to somewhere, namely to a druid who can tell us more about the unbelievable wonders that is, well, is Stilgar firm, I suppose. Now, you're at Wooden Plains, you're at Enslug's Campers, good. In the Riven, the group is Northweld, and Matma Bridge. Okay. So, let's see which areas is close. Enslug's Campers and Matma Bridge. Matma Bridge is pretty damn close. Then the Wooden Plains will probably be the next area, and then also we cannot yet reach because, well, you see, this is the area we just finished with. There's still Elm's Reach where probably those twins are. I assume, hope, somewhat. And then there's also where probably the druids are. So my theory goes. But yeah. So, to recapitulate this, the plan. The plan is bounty hunting at the bridge, bounty hunting at Anslug's Compass. Also, an interesting little fact. You see how this is the O with the double points above it. You do know, just in case you didn't, well, I will explain it. That's actually German, a specialized form. It's an Ö. Now, no other, well, at least language that I'm aware of uses those, so it's kind of difficult, and the correct form of telling it if you have something like this in your name, or in whatever word you're trying to explain to an English-speaking person, it's a pain in the ass. The most, if you try to get this in computer language or somewhere, that would be an OE, technically speaking. So yeah, pain in the ass, but you know, the more you know. German is a pain in the ass language. Just remember that one, and honestly, most people would actually agree. Be like, yes, it is. But you think German is an annoying little language. You only have 4 fucking forms. Dative, Genitiv, Nominativ, and one other. Yeah, it's been a while since I had, you know, learned that in school. But the way I see it, this is already a fucking annoying language. Especially if I can absolutely imagine trying to learn this. But it is nothing compared to some of the Scandinavian languages. Now you might think German is hard. Try one of those. A pain in the ass beyond belief. I only know one person who tried to learn. I think it was Swedish or something. I don't know. Swedish, Norwegian, something from those. He capitulated once he realized that they have like 16 fucking bombs for stuff. Understandable reaction, honestly. I would probably have given up too. But yeah. Now, let's do some bounty hunting, and I really don't... sometimes, you know, sometimes I am surprised by just how my brain works. My brain is so used to its routines, it's like, it's Friday, it's Pizza Friday. Yeah, I'm just going to, you know, heat up some of the ones I have still frozen. Only then realizing that I don't have a fucking oven to do that with. Oh, so smart. So bloody fucking smart sometimes. Oops. I think we found the group we are looking for. You might be like, why do you think so? Mostly because, you know.
Go. Of course.
Now then. You can turn into an animal. Nice. Why do you decide to run around like an idiot? Don't do that. Now then. I now have to remember how to play this game, which is a bit of a problem, because you forget a surprisingly high amount of stuff when you haven't played in a while. Change of Phantom... Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning is always such a nice little thing, isn't it? And then we of course have stuff like, you know, take a giant amount of holy shit flying on your face. That's basically even worse than having a priest juice all over you. This is basically an assload of priests doing the very same thing. Works pretty well though.
Be on seek.
On your knees, bitch. Yes, we got precisely what we wanted. It's raining. Well, not man, but it's raining. This, however, is not good. This, however, was very well timed. You did well, baby mother. However, you are on your way to death. That is, of course, not really the definition of good. A bit of a wasteful way of doing it, but I can live with this. Wasteful is in some cases just what the doctor ordered. Well, in some cases. This is not going well. He's not supposed to run away. And of course he had to walk all the way around. Of course he had.
I shall.
But the good thing is, technically speaking, my little mage can run fast. Like a bitch. Now you heal yourself. You help there.
I shall.
I Running around like an idiot, but it works, you know. The tactic is not dumb if it works. That's the point.
Yes.
You missed. Yeah, that's saddening. Use symbols for lightning hitting enemies in the area of effect with shock. Yes, please. Start casting. Now, you still have endurance spells? Yes. Bling. Druids. Druids are basically like priests, just with even more annoying spells. Nature spells have always been annoying. No matter what universe you look in, be it the Dungeons and Dragons universe, not this particular homebrew basically, which it technically is. Always have nasty spells. Very, very nasty spells. Like this one. Now then, do we still have? No, we don't have, but that doesn't really matter because we have it here. Make use of it. You know what, give them another chain lightning. We can actually reasonably rest between each individual here. Right, because honestly, these are all bounties. Very high class bounties, so you know. If anything, we do deserve to take a break in between them. Yeah, we haven't even lost anyone. I'm somewhat positively surprised. Very well fought there, my little forced edition of a team. Why is it one? Well, because while druids are kinda neat and annoying, it's not my classic theme as such. I'm probably not playing too much of their strengths, sadly enough. And again, you know. Means we have to now travel over to Enslug's Campus, where our second is, and then we have to go to the wooded plains, where the last one is. And then, basically we would need access to an area that we have not access to yet, once again. But considering the fact that we do have a quest for that area, I'm reasonably sure that we will actually get access to that area. If we just follow through our investigation of the Twin Elms. Damage reduction 3, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, there are people like damage reduction 2. And he's like, damage reduction 3 bitches. I'm fucking immortal. Or so he believes. Now we need to find where they are. Wherever they're hiding, we shall find them and we shall murder them. So the plan is, after all, well, you know, I need to earn some money. Also, I say while I basically sitting on a dragon sword worth of money, but that's kind of what always happens in RPGs at the end, isn't it? You kind of have an ass lot of money that you don't know really what to spend on. Apart from those few that actually make your equipment, the best equipment, viable and at unbelievably high prices. I do remember a few games doing that. I do remember a few Japanese games going for that, like, here, have this awesome equipment, it just costs like a fucking million. Or 10. Ah, money. Money does not grow on trees, sadly. But in this world apparently. Actually, how much money do we have at this point? Oh yeah, only like 47,000. I think I remember spending quite an assload on ingredients and stuff last time. So, you know, that's something. That's really something. Ah, money. Now where is my friendly neighborhood idiot? Is he down here? A Panamo bird scorned. Are you the one I'm hunting? Infamous Captain Murami has made landfall. It's a rare opportunity to claim the standing bounty. Where the fuck do you come from? Kind of you to stop and speak, my western friend. And once bright. Now Moore sits before you, his arm matted, and once bright, close in ruins. Equally ruined is his face. A hatching of thin scars, crossed by broader wounds. I'd seen another kif since my ship went down. Okay, so you're just some random merchant sitting in the middle of nowhere going like, hey, you need worse? And I'm sitting like, what's wrong with you? I mean, I would call this a reasonable question. What the fuck is actually wrong with people? Why do they think that sitting around in fucking nowhere's land is a good idea? I don't know, but well, to each their own, I suppose. Now, I hope, if they in this case, that we can actually maneuver this in a way where we can actually bar them access to our rear lines. I always like to fight like this. It's the best possible strategy if my frontliners are actually the only ones they can reach. Well, look at this. I found myself
Hey.
a bunch of randos sitting in a cave. And my first reaction to that is going to be murder. Surprisingly,
All right then.
RPG got me. Jesus Christ, this entrance is far too big, isn't it? That was not the one I was looking for. First, this. You start this. You have that nice little spell. You know, you should have never allowed that to happen. If your tank is an idiot who lets people pass him by, that's the fucking problem. Because that should technically speaking not ever happen. If you can help it. Oh boy, we're breaking line. We are breaking line here like a bitch. Garden of Life. Causing vision plants to spring up in the corpse. Yeah, we don't have any corpses yet. Rot skulls. Create watching disease little skulls and hands of the cast acting as ranged weapons. Okay. Any shenanigans. Well, you do you. Actually, do you have... Yes, you have that land spell, don't you? And because we can give them some nice and really nasty spells. You turn into animal. He has a nice hat. I want your hat. Actually, I could probably go for some death nonsense throwing in the face, but yeah. I don't think we need to be overly worried here. And they're all dead. This fight was comparatively speaking somewhat easier. From what it felt like. And I do not get your head. That's saddening. Alas. What can you do? You can't have them all, I suppose. Maybe it got damaged in the fight. Who knows? That is just how it is for now. Which reminds me, before I forget to mention it, tomorrow is going to be special. I'm gonna have to do two things in particular. One, I need to get to the store and get my little new, because I've decided to do so, mini oven. I'm very much looking forward to how this is going to work out. Yes, we'll have to work with that for a year or two. For as long as it holds, basically. Not ideal, but it's just the only solution I can afford, actually, at this moment. And even that is pretty much just do it through the goodwill of a friend of mine. Otherwise, he would continue to have to live without one, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not much of a chef anyway, but I still need one. Wooden planes was right, wasn't it? Just let me check in case. Wooden planes, yes. The Northfield, yeah. Northfield is the only area we have not yet access to. See? It's great. And I also will have to help out with a family member doing a little bit of moving, and well, you know, even if I'm not much of that, they still need the manpower and the people to drive the cars, and at least when it comes to driving cars, I'm surprisingly, well, experienced. I wouldn't claim good, but experienced. And so that is that. Means that tomorrow will probably be a bit different from our usual time. Not necessarily in the amount of time, mind you. What I'm trying to do is this. I'm going to be around in the store in the morning, and then I will get out and do all of the other nonsense. So by midday, I hope I should be done with that. So it's probably not going to be as early in the afternoon as it would usually be, but we still try to aim for, you know, starting relatively in time. Just an hour or so later, probably. That is how it's going to end up, I think. It's not a complete and set in stone promise, though, so do keep that in mind. I will be around, it just could be a bit later than usual. Basically, and with a bit later, that is a very nice way of saying that it will probably be somewhere between an hour to a few hours later. But still, I'll be around. They can't take the fun from me. I need my fun. I need my fun streaming time, otherwise I'm going to get annoyed. And you don't want me to be annoyed now, do you? Well, some random in the forest sitting around going like, ha 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 ha. Look at me, I'm Rando, with nice name. Actually, wasn't I... I'm pretty damn sure we already did some bounty hunting on this particular map, actually. As it just stood down here, and we murdered them. Most profoundly, it was fun and engaging. Apparently even the game isn't unfriendly enough to put the enemies in the same spot twice. Well, mostly probably because you would want to have two scripted events in the same place. Could be a pain in the ass to set up. Is most probably the answer. Yeah. There are no enemies inside. I mean, the good thing is, and that is actually why I like to set it up like this, yeah. The game auto pauses whenever I spot enemy. And since you spot them at the absolute outer range, at a point where, funnily enough, your enemies are going to immediately attack you. That gives you an opportunity to, you know, plan around a bit more, which I do find rather enjoyable.
Hey.
I'm here.
What? Yes?
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Yes, I'm
Hey.
very profound. The meaning behind everything. Go in there!
Need some?
Now then, we also have the DNC bowls. Give me some DNC bowls. See, druids are nasty spellcasters. They really, 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 really are. But that's not all now, is it? Mainly, and of course, one of the bigger problems is that you're going to get some attention. And usually you don't really want to get attention as a spellcaster. Oh, of course you don't. There are many great things a spellcaster wants to have. Having attention from your enemy is not one of those things. A rather understandable and easily understandable thing going on there, I'd say. Tempers. Perception power from enemy sounds. The Zephyr is able to slow them down, increase his or her known speed. Yes. One has to love some good old fucking nasty, really nasty spellcasting though. And now, without all your companions, what are you going to do, eh? We had like a million of them. Wish my druids could... my rangers could get like 10 pets, that probably would be nice, but... how would you run out of that? You would expect, actually, that a holy fucking meteor strike would not hurt the spellcaster. Because, you know, it's technically speaking a miracle from his god, and why would the god want to damage his cleric? But the gods are cruel, very cruel masters and mistresses, and they don't give a shit about the safety of their clerics. And like, if my cleric is weak enough to get killed by my holy fire, he's not a cleric of mine now, is he? Pain. Very much so pain. Now then, 3 bounties done. And now we shall, of course, go back and get ourselves some nice, hopefully, rewards for that. Then we shall continue to go to Twin Elves. Go on a nice little bit of a journey into the olden part of town and find a druid that can tell me more about my little halfling, and I'm going to call him as it is, a fucking halfling. Ability to turn into a fucking Zelka. Apparently very important for him. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm very interested in seeing how this nonsense is going to work out. I never had a mobile sort of oven around. And I don't trust the idea though, honestly speaking. I mean, we're talking about a thing that is supposed to get very much short. Is that thing going to explode at some point? I don't know. It's going to burn my apartment down. I don't know. But as you can already tell, I'm not very trusting of that thing. Which is a problem because, I mean, yeah, like with any other kitchen appliance, there's probably going to be a part in the menu going like, never leave this thing unattended. Like, yep, sure, bitch, while that thing is heating up, going to sit 10 minutes around and do nothing. Just for fuck's sake, of course not. Well, Fumino's no longer a problem. Here's my head. No one gets into kill like her, but the matter's done with. Here's my bounty. Yes, give him the bounty. Gil and Delgard's slaving days are over. I've brought a set. That's a piece of news that ought to help quite a few souls sleep a little better. Oh, it brings the client some peace. Here's payment. And Captain Rumi has been dealt with. Elevator Evalian Sea Captains singing your praises right about now. Well, here's my money. We've got money, we've got experience, we've got lots of stuff. And sadly that is all we can do. I mean, quite literally. We could technically go a bit more diving into the endless path, but... yeah. Yeah. I don't really feel it, right? I don't feel it, I don't feel it. As for the rest, we could start on the second part here, but... you know what? No. Not yet. We will do it. We will do some nice little dungeon diving. Soonish. But since we have taken such a long break to actually deal with the white modulars in the first place, I do kinda wanna do some more main questy style things for once. The Glenfazon astronomers who objected to Lover's Tide that destroyed Undra's gift took many of the instruments and notes, I remember this, though backed by the money and spies of 2 valiant dukes. Regina had difficulty cracking the Glenfazon astronomers code. Many of the Glenfazons who initially appeared helpful turned out to be saboteurs who believed that outsiders could not be trusted with Glenfazon secrets. A series of ambushes and difficult chases through Aya Glenfas eventually brought Pelagina face to face with the great-great-granddaughter of one of the Orlan astronomers who predicted the Lover's Tide. She threatened to destroy the key translating the cipher, but Pelagina was able to negotiate a limited translation. Interesting, of the key astronomical information. In the end, the Valiant Dukes were a bit disappointed, as they had hoped to learn additional secrets of Glenfazon astronomy. However, even the information Pelagina was fascinating. And we got some money out of it, huh? Good deal indeed. A supplicant, send an escort. Pelagina, you just returned home, didn't you? How about you do a bit more work for me? I don't know. I like paladins. Pretty obviously by the fact that I'm playing one, but you know, one is enough. Two is a bit overkill. I mean, technically not really. You can play them as a more defensive one, as what I do, or a more aggressive and offensive orientated one, which I think I'm actually raising Pelagina to do precisely that. Yet still, you know, I'm kinda... I do like the variety I can get out of this, basically. Now then, twin elms. Let's see if we can finally find some of those. Actually, twins. Not just people talking about it like, wow, look at this, awesome. And this is to Old Song District. Now let's go to Old Song so we can potentially get rid of the druid. Two reasons for that, honestly. A, I don't like him as a character. He's kinda boring. Not my favorite one. And I do like to have my standard team around. Also, I admittedly I will happily admit actually that druid spells are very, 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 very potent. A bit too potent though. I mean, I know how absolutely annoying it is when I get hit by that thing that paralyzes you. Do not try my patience, Astromore. You shall not pass without the permission of the Anam Feather. I come to see the cornerstone with the blessings of the guided compass. The god scowls and looks at his companion, who nods back. He turns to you again, his knuckles whitening around the shaft of his spear. Stop masturbating furiously in front of me, you bloody asshole. Always too cozy with the Astromore. Go then, mind your step around the sacred zones. Nice. To Old Song it shall be then, and let's find out what nonsense is going on there. I'm assuming a lot. I'm assuming I'm going to have to kill a few people. Actually, wasn't there something about a group of druids doing some blood sacrifice ritual stuff? I'm almost sure that they would very happily take some Astromore to sacrifice. Let's see then. We have the Noon Frost. To the Burial Isle. Back to the Heartstrong, Reach District, the Elias Shrine, and Gillowin's Maw. Sounds promising. It's immediately not running around and annoying everybody that lives or not. And see if we can find anything interesting.
Hail, Estremore.
An Orlan woman stares at the sky with an air of deep contemplation. She occasionally puffs from a wooden pipe, blowing smoke into perfect rings. Well, I know something I did to stop my Joe, standing around doing nothing but smoking my pipe. She wipes her lip with the back of her hand. Her teeth, uneven and pointy, are stained red. I do not see Estremore often. She picks the remains of an okra root stuck in her gums. And believe me, I see many things. People who want to see them too. Perhaps you want to see them too. Yes. She gestures behind her to an assortment of plants, roots, and files. So basically, you're a drug dealer, aren't ya? Written on a scrap of parchment is a concise but detailed description of you. Well, nice. Yes, she's quite literally a fucking dealer. I'm not even surprised at this point. Yeah, it's just by all of the nonsense, because if there's one thing we actually have, it is bloody fucking money. Luckily enough, no. Let me sort my inventory for once, because this is going to get me annoyed faster than I would like to admit, but oh well. Now I still remember that my inventory is basically full. I mean, not my inventory, my group inventory, my stash, as it is called, is still full of stuff. I could start selling that at any time, and I could probably make a fucking killing at this point. I'm getting myself enough money to, well, quite literally do whatever I want. I could probably buy a fucking castle from the money alone, but it's probably not how this is going to end. Now I do wonder, somewhat, apparently some people got burned on the stakes. Now I do wonder, where am I supposed to be going? Hello people.
We can't stay down here. Someone must go to the nest eventually.
Hello there. Two wood elves, a man and a woman, wear colorful robes, embroidered with a matching emblem, a winged egg. Apart from their clothing, they couldn't be more different. She folds her arms and continually scolds at the broken walls around them. He, on the other hand, mutters prayers, shady dappled face as tranquil as a cloudless sky.
Just how are we supposed to worship the Sky Mother from among the weeds, This is a disgrace.
Calm yourself. We should be grateful that she protected us from the winged terror. Besides, even here we have a visitor.
Yes, the temple of
A
Hylia.
sharp tongue indeed. You hear this, Wag?
Relax, Anuin. I'm sure she meant nothing by it. Forgive my consort. She's been rather excitable of late.
Well, you don't say.
This is not, as you seem to recognize, our actual temple. It's merely a shrine we've set up after this business with the dragon.
Yo, dragons.
Excitable? Of course I'm excitable. I am livid, and you should be too, Cosfath. There's a dragon in our goddess's sanctuary. If you'd listened to me in the first place, we could have called on the Fangs and sent them after the beast.
And last time I checked, Hylia is the Sky Mother, the mother of all winged creatures. Is the fucking dragon a winged creature? I have questions.
But no, you advised caution.
Yes.
Now word spread that the dragon ate a few of our followers, and anyone willing to slay it wants an Anumfoth's ransom for the job.
Oh, well, everybody
I
is
told
busy.
you a larger party wouldn't stand a chance. By the time the first half reached the top of the mountain, the second half would still be stuck in the pass. They'd be burned alive.
Ending, isn't it?
Contrary to Anuin's suggestion, I am in favor of sending someone to kill the dragon. But I suggest a smaller party, and one willing to seek Helia's blessing.
I could go after this dragon.
Someone of your ferocity could.
Well, yes, I
What she
could.
means is that this is no mere drake, but a fully grown dragon, and one that has willingly moved into a populated area. You'll want every advantage at your disposal, including the blessing of the Sky Mother herself. I would suggest that you petition her directly at Ter Evron, if you haven't already.
Why should I randomly go into some building and ask the Sky Mother for her blessing? She points to path on the right, leading north and up a slope. You want to follow this path here. You'll pass through the North Suite. The way up the mountain continues from there. Near one of those big circles laid by the builders. Questions about the dragons. This sort of thing happened before? Never. My father would have started to resemble the Fangs a long time ago. Perhaps there's a reason this has happened now. Let us be clear. You suggest that there's some misdeed in our minds, midst, that we've committed a crime against the goddesses or mother and received a just punishment. I don't know why these things happen. Why your own mother goddess allowed a scores of her photos to perish among flames. If you discover why, I invite you to come back here and tell the rest of us. Probably because she's pissed with you. How did the dragon come to be here? With a great beating of wings and a fiery roar. Well, surprising. Who knows why these beasts come and go? It's here, and that's what matters. As why this has happened, only the gods know. I suspect it's a test of faith from Hydia herself, who can say. Well said. He Ravis interrupts with a chuckle. These two have a little bit of a whale in them. He breathes deeply. A mystical playground controlled by unknown deities. There are so many other things to worry about. The how and why of, well, anything. When did the ring first show up? Several weeks ago, the creature cloaked the sky like a thundercloud and descended upon us all at once. There was no warning. Didn't tell me anything else. She opens her mouth, a crooked sneer on her face, but seems to think better of whatever she was about to say. After a pause, she says, "Nothing." Oh, do feel free to talk to me, woman. Sure wish we could tell you more, but we, like the rest of Hyda's faithful, were running for our lives. And we were more fortunate than most. Tell me more about your
She's the
ecosystem.
goddess of song, art, the sky, and maternity.
Hmm.
She's gentle and brilliant, speaking to her followers in dreams, inspiration, and birdsong. It is said that she wears a cloak adorned with a feather from every bird known to kith or wilder, and that she manifests in the flocks themselves.
Fascinating.
Aye, and in the screams of childbearing, which I can assure you is not so beauteous a thing.
And this is true, which is why midwives are widely considered clergy of Helium, as are many artists and poets. In any case, those of us who follow her feel closest to her splendor in a place where we might share light, song, and a view of the blessed sky.
Interesting. That's quite the portfolio she's got going there. I'll give her that much. Now then, let's see what else goes on here. I do kind of wonder though, is this... The block and they don't bulge and doesn't appear to be any mechanism. Then no way out here. Okay, so probably it's about this path then, which is going to lead to the North Wild, I'm assuming. Does. All the way up to the Temple of Hydia. Interesting indeed. I see, you treat your people well around here. In the past, at least. Oh, free stuff. I mean, you know, nobody's willing to take. I apparently cannot.
The chill of Rimagon's oblivion. The mindless beast. Easily brought to heel by the fire.
Oh, so you claim. A chill hovers over the frozen lake, draining the air of warmth. I see. I mean, he is apparently somewhat related to frost, so fitting, I suppose. Ice keeps growing. Like poisonous mold on a tree. Yes, I know, we're all going to die. Some way or another.
What brings you here?
A thin, ragged man stands waiting on the barge, leaning on the oar. A smile of greeting splits his weathered features. It has been a very long time since an outsider sought passage to the Burial Isle. What is this Burial Isle? It is a sacred place that sits upon the great works of the builders. There by your ancestors, although unemphasis are laid to rest. Few go there, my friend. It's not a place where the living to walk. Is it dangerous? Though not solemnly. Those I bring to the island return the same way, whilst not at all. It is home only to the dead, spirits, shades. The builders remain and watch over our Anamfaza. I bound to this island and protect it fiercely. I see, and since we have not finished this area yet, I'm not going to run over there like an idiot. Instead, I'm going to go around here. Such thing. What do we eat? Oh, don't worry, I just like to annoy people with my presence and go like, hello, people.
Many blessings, traveler.
Salutations, Estramore, the one chirps in a sing-song voice. I'm known as Dilem, a chanter of old song. I trust you're enjoying the beauty of this sacred place. What can you tell me of this place? Old Song is a sacred site, home to many of the builder's finest works. Galawain's Moor, Hydea's Temple, and Rimgrun's Temple, known as Noonfrost, can be found here. Visitors are a rare sight in Old Song. Whatever it is that brought you here, be thankful you have the privilege to see this place with your own eyes. Are you the resident entertainer? I sing to entertain Old Song's visitors, but alas, crowds have thinned into little more than a trickle. The chill wind from Rimgrad's temple is driving people away. I sing, but nobody listens. My music is without purpose. But I know of a solution, a way for me to make my songs warm and passionate, countering Rimgrun's incessant chill. All I need are a few rare songbirds. I could eat them and absorb their musical energy. That kind of musical prose in my soul. I could sing a song that could bring back the merry crowds. You want to eat the songbirds? I don't think it works that way. Jordan stares at you, dumbfounded, before rolling his eyes and x-raying you. Eating the muscles of animal make you stronger, right? And if you consume green stalks, do you not take on their pungent smell, even down to the water you pass? Well, I mean, yeah. Oh shit, I clicked, didn't I? For my song to be pitch perfect, I will need a tiam, a bird often found throughout twin elms, often in high tree nests, but some have been domesticated. I also need a shardwing. Shardwings prefer to nest in arbor formation, so it's natural camouflage at best. Oh, and most importantly, if I plan on hitting those high notes, I'm going to need a cloud singer. Those little warblers can only be found in the highest mountain peaks. Many thanks, Astromore. Bring me these birds and I'll sing like Hydia herself. Oh shit. I mean, it's a quest and I was more than willing to go there, just maybe not that directly. Oh, alas. A bit late to complain, I suppose. Now the question is where to go first. Galawain's Moor. I mean, it seems like reasonable.
Just be glad we aren't going through the back door to this place.
I mean, if this is as well. Yes, I see where you're going with that. You know that is not how nature intended things to go. Things are intended to go into your mouth and, you know, back out through your arse, most obviously. Nature has not really intended for things to go the other way around. That it does not work very well, let's just say. If it does work, however, you have probably a lot of things broken. Because there are actually quite a few things in the way of that. Which is how it should be, mind you. A dang sultry draft issues from the cave within the beast's head. Condensation drips from the stone teeth. That means there's probably some worms in there, which means probably people. Now we're going to find out. Or will we? Apparently yes, game loads. Good. For a moment I was like, game, you crashing there? Yeah, you crashing? No, it doesn't seem so. It does seem to work. Good. Pleasing indeed. Very pleasing. And now then, let's see. Stack companion fangs, first blade, fangs. I see lots of fangs and wolf companion stuff.
Arensi has no right to defend that cowering cat in the back of the mall.
Look, Estramore, this is no place for sightseeing. The beasts of Galawain's Maw are dangerous, and now more than ever. If you want to see some pretty Glanfathan places, go to Elm's Reach.
What's wrong with the beasts? What? What's wrong with that?
It is not Galawain's way, and it is not the way of the Maw.
The Maw has always been home to one great predator. Very so often, a challenger comes along, the two battle for territory. But Soul remains in her den, and Oneros can't confront her there. Now two mighty predators, and their kin, hunt from the same stock. It's thinning the herds, and it's thinning patience around here too. And this waiting. It's not the deliberate watchful waiting of a hunter lying in ambush. It's stagnation, tedium, hoping for something to happen. I'm powerless to act. One of the fangs will cry favoritism if I try to drag the lioness out myself. Would you say favor Sul or Oneros? I see both sides. Sul's cunning is unmatched, but Oneros is the mightier of the two. Both embody traits prized by Galloway. Tell me about the two predators. There's never been a more cunning hunter than Sul, but sometimes she's losing her edge. Oenos, on the other hand, is all edge, and many of our number think he's the rightful successor. Blood's simmering, going to boil over if a little doesn't spill soon. I'm an unbiased outsider, I could look into it. And if here's one, from the looks of you. No harm in letting you try, I suppose. Anything better than this endless waiting. If you can somehow bring these to a resolution, these tensions will end. If not, the beast will make short work of you. We don't normally permit outsiders to venture into the moor, but you understand that you do so at your own risk, and Sil's lions are likely to attack intruders on sight. Still, perhaps you can coax her into fighting the bear. Do whatever you can to end the stalemate. Okay, so this is Galloway's Bay.
A den of beasts sacred to the Lord of the Hunt himself. Historically, the greatest predator of Air Glanfath has claimed the back of the maw as its lair. Lately, however, there's been some dispute as to who should occupy that position. And it's leading to discord among our hunters.
Well, yeah, I figured. Tell me about yourself. I am the leader of the Fangs. We are an order of hunters and warriors, devoted to Galloway, and we see that the places of the builders remain pure. Not truly a tribe, but we do gather and argue like one. Our members come from all of the tribes, but most of us were born 3 tusks Stiliga, Fisher Crane, and Keepers of the Stone. Naturally. Where could I find Sul? Straight at the back of the moor. Could get through either way, but mind where your feet step. The moor is a dangerous place, and Sul's pride and her advocates are on the alert. Where's Uranus? Good question. We are out hunting right now, but he'll return soon. He's never gone for long.
Then track her down and tell her yourself.
Come to see the great Oernos, Estremor? He's out for a hunt, but he'll be back. Unlike that lioness, he doesn't stay cooped up in here for long.
So why can't he go and fight the
Because
lioness?
she holes up at the back of the maw, surrounded by her pride and the natural hazards of this place.
That's smart, isn't it?
It's not the proper way to meet a challenger. She's got to come out and face Oernos to keep her claim. Anyway, her prime is past. Putting that old beast down would be a mercy at this point.
What are you
We
doing
wait
here?
for the big confrontation.
Hmm.
The wait grows exhausting, while Sul hides in the back of the maw. Oernos is denied his victory, and we're all denied the champion we deserve.
You know, I could take care of Sul. I hate to spoil the tradition of a big showdown, but if she retreats from the fight, then there's no point in waiting. Kill her and it'll be proof enough that she's not a fit champion. Well, I mean, yes, technically speaking that would be precisely the point. If she's too weak to even fight me, then no reason for waiting, I suppose. So, am I right to assume that this is going to be full of lions and stuff then? Aren't the lion clanswoman too? And lions, of course, yeah. I'm not even surprised. No, in fact, that's precisely what I'm expecting.
Hey. Needs.
Yeah, come on. You do that. You start with the blessing. You do some healing for us, please, because we actually getting some of that damaged. Rather unfriendly one. Come on. Well, they can turn into lions. It doesn't help them, however. Not when I can just, you know... See, that's actually the problem. Once you get used to it,
Of course.
when you're playing a game, you're kind of getting to the point where you are going to use your advantage if you have one. And I have one. Okay, so this is actually another way out. My advantage in this very easy case is that I have a druid that can paralyze my enemies. Now, once you know that that is a thing and that it works rather well, you kinda tend to repeatedly make use of that. I mean, as you do.
Do your eyes see what mine see?
Yes, we have party vision, bitch. Shit, oh shit, oh shit. Why are there traps everywhere?
What you ask is done.
I sure hope so. 6 difficulty, 180 XP earned. Ah, it's a nice amount of XP for taking care of a trap. The remains of a broken bridge. A long collapse lead to a deep chasm. The other side of the bridge pierces through the mist at the end of the chasm, hanging precariously over the steep fall. Examine the area. Broken stones of the bridge, weathered after centuries of disrepair, scattered along the edge and side of the chasm. A thin mist rises from below. The stones are coated with slick green moss, making them impossible to grip safely. The wooden beams lodged between the stones on either side of the bridge seem sturdy enough to support your weight, however. The remains of the broken bridge, a long collapse lead to a deep chasm. Okay, toss your broken grappling hook across the chasm. You aim for the wooden beam on the opposite side of the bridge. Turn your grappling hook across the chasm. Strikes the bridge with a solid thunk. The hook snags firmly, digging into the wood as you pull. The rope tightens, taut and secure. Tie the free end of the rope to the wooden beam next to you. Let's pass over then. Rope tenses and vibrates as you move forward, gripping the line, reverberating throughout the underground cave. The creak of the wooden beams mark your every effort. You keep your progress slow and steady. You reach the other side without incident. The knots on the other side of the bridge remain secure, and the wooden beams appear undamaged by the strain of your passage. Nice. But that only leads back here, basically. I mean, it's kinda cool. Where does the line come from? Well, I don't know where it came from, but it is dead now, once again. So I'm assuming... Well, technically speaking, the back should be somewhere behind there, so... I am going to assume that down here is probably just going to be more enemies to murder.
Hey.
Hello, lions. I assume you wish to fight me. Stelgia transformation. Very, very useful, all of it. Just look at this picture. Doesn't this look nasty as fuck? Me, not for me, but for my enemies. I get murder-cated in a most brutal fashion here. But yeah, this spell is just fucking OP, isn't it? And I mean OP as fuck in this case. Basically, let's say that you have a fight, a boss fight, you know, with lots of little friendly little guys trying to murder you, apart from the guy and on top. Then, technically speaking, I could use this spell to basically murder all of them. Or at least make them, you know,
Something here calls to me.
a bit more incapacitated while I deal with the big bad. May the blood freeze in the veins.
Tread carefully, Estremor.
You must be Bethwin's new Estremor. Just when she'd let another in, I almost went to the Passage of the Six myself to share words. Have other foreigners come this way recently? Glenfillan, worshippers of Rimgard, they claim. Probably looters and defilers by another name, that's the truth. They disappeared behind the doors of Noonfrost, and now our lake turns to ice and the cold creeps ever closer. Yet, Bethwell is timid, and she has convinced the other Anamferser we must respect these Estremor and their traditions. But what mischief guides their hands? I'm guessing you didn't leave it at that. I sent my own sister, one of my finest scouts, to sniff out the Pale Elf's corruption. I was certain the Anamferser could not ignore the defilement in Noonfrost once Alva's own eyes had seen it. She still hasn't returned. Now I bear the responsibility for her fate. I can't send the fangs after her without openly defying the Anamferser. I could look for her, technically speaking. I don't dare to hope. Whatever catastrophe has befallen, Noonfrost does not feel like the work of Kith. Nothing would bring me greater joy than seeing her again. But take any assistance you can give. What are you doing here? My stocks equip my brethren in the fangs, and my hands train them to fight, hunt, and track with skill. Tell me about them all. An ancient place of beasts and dangers. Swallows of the Cliffer Hound. We assemble and train here as hunters, warriors, and defenders of the Builder's sacred places. Chaos pervades them all, and more than ever due to this stalemate between the beasts. But this one refuses to intervene. Many itch to settle the matter over blood. Have any supplies for sale? Only the finest. The Black Fang. Wait, isn't it? Black Fang, what? The Bleak Fang. But why am I going for... I don't know. Probably something anime, isn't it? Going by the edgy name, that's probably where I heard that. And why my mind is like, huh, yeah. But hey, we got a reason to go into there now. Now my question remains. Where in essentiality is the backside? Guess one of you turned to stone. Apparently the traps are getting worse. That is not good. It's also going to weaken me substantially, which means the rest is probably going to be becoming a very high priority at this rate. Also because I'm going to get very unhealthy very fast. And it comes with the added advantage that I get my nasty little spell back. These horny veins are twisted together, forming a wall. They quiver and begin to part as you draw near. Pretty sure I found where I'm looking for. Let us not overdo anything yet that would incite violence. Then again, we are dealing with beasts. Violence is probably one of the few languages they understand rather easily. At the very least. Jesus Christ.
This may prove useful.
No, not useful. Dangerous. See? Dangerous, not useful. Alright, we don't have anything of this left anymore, do we? Saddening, isn't it? I've gotten so used to using it, it's kind of feeling somewhat strange to not use it. No reason to overdo it. Yet. What do we have here, Blizzard? Can you use a storm of ice and snow, slowly apply freeze damage? Sure, everybody can use all of the annoyance. Boom, we give you everything. Ice, fire.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Queen, you know you could murder her. You could murder them all. Hey, let me guess, this is the other side. It sounds like the lion is still around. Thick snarl tangle of dagger-sharp thorns and veins has grown across this passage. As you look on, the entire wall of vegetation seems to move, almost like it were breathing. Thick coils of veins twist and writhe across the gap. Quiet rustle of foliage. Examine it. Through gaps and twisting vegetation, you catch brief glimpses of what seems to be a wide circular chamber. From time to time, you catch sight of a tawny heights, and the rusting of the veins is briefly obscured by low growths. Interesting. Games like there on the other side, you shall find what you're looking for. Galloway's Shrine. This is probably where we're going to find the wild beast. The one we're looking for. I mean, after we murdered everything else, that's totally no way. Now then, let's go up there, take a rest before we approach, because I'm assuming this is not necessarily going to end, you know, peaceful. I think peaceful is probably a good word for it. I'm assuming some sort of combat is going to happen. And rest. Several attempts, Lord Sidrock's rivals gave up on riding his walls. Having reclaimed his land, Lord Sidrock sends you his regards and his gratitude. Also, I hope his money. An elven woman intercepts you as you advance into her lair. Behind her is the largest lioness you've ever seen. A sleek beast with fangs as long as carving knives. One blocks your path to the lioness, seemingly at ease around the monster. This is Soul's domain, Estromor. She shall not leave it for Uranus or any other challenger. Why does Soul refuse to face Uranus? Uranus is welcome to confront her here, as many challengers have in the past. But to be a supporter's want is for Soul to leave her lair and fight in the open, where he has an advantage. But why should she? If Soul has an advantage here, it's one she's earned. Why would anyone expect to blunt De Beer's claws in order to even the odds? The Lord of the Hunt gives unique advantages to each. It's not for us to decide that some of them are worth less than others. The lioness gives a low growl, and Uranzi smiles. Also, Soul has recently given birth to cubs. They're small now. When they grow, they'll be mightier than either Soul or Uranus. Soul's skilled in combat, the bear will tear her young to shreds. Such is the way of the wild. Her legacy is too valuable to perish this way. If we truly want the mightiest of the beasts in the moor, then the cubs must grow to maturity. What are you doing here with Soul? She looks at the lion with something between fondness and admiration. Defending the rightful champion of Galloway's Moor. Diana's supporters would have her ousted in favor of a bear that isn't strong enough to come and seize the territory on his own. I'll deal with them. Good. The bear isn't nearly as strong as Einstein and his followers think. So I were to prove just how easily the bear can be killed, that would cure everyone of their delusions about it. Travis glares with a smirk. I wonder what Gillivan will think of all this. This great lioness gets someone else to deal with her challenger. And I would love to watch someone other than me offend the Seeker God. I can't wait to see how it tests them for their lack of decisiveness. Yeah, there he is now, isn't he? Quite a thick beast, isn't he? Honestly though, she has cubs, and that basically means she has mini kitties running around. And since I do have a bit of a fondness for the kitties, mostly because I do have a kitty myself, although he's not, you know, a cub anymore. I remember when he still was small enough to fit basically in the palm of my hand and I could have smooshed him with one hand basically, and I did at some point, which leads to, I mean, not hard, you know, not any abusive way, just, you know, squished him a bit. He was like mop, 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 mop. It was cute as fuck. I still remember that. Sitting on my hand, going like mop, 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 mop. Whenever you smooshed him a bit. Good little kitty. So I've decided to follow the kitty for, well, personal reasons, I suppose. I have decided to do so, and no one shall stop me. Now then, how are we gonna do this nicely? Well, point is, we're not gonna do this nicely.
Hey.
Okay, first things first. Positioning, as usual, is a very important thing.
Flow deeply indeed.
Stop it, please, Griffy Mother. I'm not trying to be edgy. I have long since passed the time when I tried to be edgy. You go in here.
I'm here.
You go in here. Actually, no, you stay here. Make a save and try this out. And if it tends to work out very badly, we shall change our positioning. Alien sights. Spinning his axe by the shaft. Too much waiting. Something's got to happen soon. On arrows isn't the rightful champion.
Stand on the side of that toothless old bag of bones.
Shut up.
and you
She's
stand in
basically
my
a giant
way.
kitty. And believe you me, my kitty would probably get a bit annoyed if I murder his next of kin for no good reason. Attack. Try me, bitch boy. Now you go for the beer. You go there. Small enemy, no. We have some of those nice ability. That's not going to work. Illumination of the special piece into sleeping memories of previous lives, drawing upon the pouch and hands out of his or her attribute. Nice, but probably something for later. Let's actually pass a moment. Yes, yes. See what happens, basically. You get closer. Because we, of course, want to see the... Yes, you can hit them. Nice. That's precisely what I wanted to see. But of course they have their own druids. I'm not surprised in any way, shape or form, but this is going to make this a bit more annoying, isn't it? Now then, turn into the bear. Manifest the target's allies' mental strength and projects them outward forcefully, causing a shockwave that inflicts crush damage. Of course, this is the sort of fight that you usually don't want to have, necessarily. Because it comes at... it puts you at a disadvantage, put it mildly. Usually, you don't want to fight as a disadvantage, for obvious reasons. But this has worked out rather surprisingly well so far, so I'm not going to overly complain much. Destroy it, yeah. We did, in the most obvious way. Now we have slain a beer, a giant beer. Pain in the ass, but yeah, somebody had to do it. Well, then let's go back to the lioness and be like, you will have time to raise your little corpse. Then again, can I pick them up and smoosh them a bit? That would be very nice. I'm pretty sure they are very smooshable. Little creatures. Yeah, kitties. I remember that some people mistaken stuff like cougars and the like for basically giant kitties and started raising them like you would a kitty, and worked out surprisingly well in quite a few cases. Surprisingly enough. Nice little reminder that you can, well, tame, in quote-unquote, most animals if you start early enough or friendly enough. Hey, so. Any news of the bear? I've dealt with him. You choose well. Zul's cub will grow to be quick and fierce, and so will the fangs if we follow the example. Thank you for solving this, Estromor. Can I see your cubs? I want to smush some cubs. Smush their little face and go like whoop, 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 whoop. Apparently I cannot. Yeah, that's kind of saddening. But then again, I do think the lioness herself would not be too pleased with me combing around and smushing her little cubs. Probably. I mean, technically, I could now do the completely assholeish move and go like, she's not the rightful champion either, and murder all of them. But, yeah, that would be wise XP wise, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Still looking around? Watch your step. Tempers run hot around here, and not just among the animals.
Well, I've dealt with the situation between Zul and Onaris, and Zul remains champion. Many of the Fangs are glad to see her stay. Perhaps it's Gillivan's way of telling us to remember our roots, and prize our cunning as hunters. Though I suppose I could have guessed as much when you ventured into the moor. Thank you for help, Carrot. May Gillivan guide your path. Take this with our thanks. You might visit Terran to pray to the Lord of the Hunt. Sometimes grant special favors to those who prove themselves. That's so. And we still have a good old reasoning to enter Moonfrost, so there's that. Then we could technically speaking go hunting for the last bounty in the Northwild and get access to Hylia's temple. Then again, confronting a dragon without having at least talked to the mother of all flying creatures would probably not be a good idea. Maybe she actually wants that thing to be alive and well, and so I should probably not venture out and murder it outright for no good reason. You know what? Actually, we're going to go for the bounty hunt first, then we go for Moonfrost. Then we might be actually going to the Elms Reach district. Maybe. Maybe. It depends a bit. It is getting a bit late, but relatively speaking, I don't need to get up as early tomorrow, and so I still have some time to play at least. Now I still haven't found any answer to Mr. Hero's little problem of not knowing shit. I mean, I guess we could talk to Galavan about it. Going like, hey, God, please, listen. This Orlan here has a bit of a problem. Can you explain? Oh, right, we have multiple quests actually in this area. We have the exploring for the caravan thing. We have the bounty hunting thing. We have a nice lot of things to do actually here. Friendly boss. Oh, no reason to be an asshole about it then. Probably also a good idea to level up actually, so we are even stronger. Lower or more athletics? Actually, let's go for more athletics. Up next for the next part of that. Enduring flames. These flames of devotion do burning damage over time. Yeah, that's one thing I actually don't like. Because it sounds like it changes my attack to actually doing that over time instead of, you know, what it does now. Immediately. I mean, so far I've kind of avoided doing all of this. So I kinda now have to start doing this, eh? Interrupting blows sounds like a good start. More interrupt. Sounds like a very good idea now that I think about it. Then we have you, my little friend. I have all the survival in the world. And you should continue doing that. Bonus knockdown. That would probably not be bad, but honestly it's something we can think about a later date, to put it mildly. More reflection, more defense when disengaging, cautious attack, bold will. Yeah, let's make you as tanky as we can. Sounds like a reasonable plan actually, considering what I use you for. Interdiction, grazing an enemy, any enemies and dazing them in the air. I think that actually sounds not bad. Bonus first level spells. You know, let's actually get the interdiction. Sounds like something useful. More things that stop my enemies from moving are quite welcome, I'd say. Delayed fireball, warding staff, chaotic ball of training. Chaotic bounces between a number of enemies, dealing damage and inflicting a variety of negative afflictions, including petrified, paralyzed, weakened, sickened, stunned. Yeah, that sounds like a nice one. Blast. Generates a blast on a target when using Vanguard or Scepter to all enemies in a small area. Sounds nice, but really not that useful if you ask me. But, you know what, actually, sure, let me give you that. I do sometimes let you sit there and attack. It happens rarely, but it does sometimes happen, so sure, let me give you that. Now then, let's talk. It hides in a tall underbush. Twigs poke out of her hair. Chunks of dried mud cling waist-high to her leather leggings. Wait, keep low. Take a look. She points up the ridge. My friends are up there, over the lip of the hill. What's going on? The fangs must have caught the scent and rushed the group. She begins to run her gloved fingers over her hair and stops. The brusher snaps one of the twigs, stuck on her black curls. Some of her friends are still alive, but the fangs have them surrounded. The expedition. Bennett brings her hand back to the pommel of her stock. Or what remains of it, has taken cover in some ruins above these cliffs. Fangs must be toying with them, letting them starve a bit before the next attack. We need to act, or they're as good as dead. And how did the Fangs get here? Xen looks down to her feet, shaking it slowly. I cut a decoy path, set false campfires, and dusted over every footprint I could find. Didn't slow them much. Let's see what I can do. Swinette nods. Maybe you can find a way around the Fangs. There's got to be another way up that ridge. Ripple is sweat from her brow, a glove leaving behind a dirty smudge. You aren't dressed like my man. Perhaps you could try talking to the Fangs. They might not think you're with us. Grips her hand, squeezing it. Please help. I already have enough friends to bury. Oh boy. Sounds like a buzzer, doesn't it? Wait the buzzer. I'm just running up here, like an idiot. I mean, quite literally, what do I have to fear?
Estremor.
An elven woman stands beside a stag, petting the great beast on its neck. As you approach, the animal jerks its head in your direction and rears up. Stillness, the woman orders the stag, pulling on the skin of the stag's neck until it ceases to buck. Easy now, no need to fight, yet. She turns to face you. One ear is missing its top half, and many battle scars erase her otherwise smooth skin. More foreigners, more unclean feet trampling our lands. More blood to feed the trees. She shakes her head. You should not be here, Estremor. Her hand moves to one of several blades strapped to her hips. You're here in our lands. It is easier to steal from us or to aid those who would. She gestures to the north, at the ruins of Angwithian buildings protruding from the underbrush. Drywood and mercenaries, looters. Can you hear their panicked whispers? Leave this place at once, or we'll kill you when we finish with the Estremor. I'm a friend of Ergelanfeth. She holds her gaze on you. The great stag stomps its front hooves on the ground and turns to its master. Do you speak the truth, foreigner? If you are indeed a friend, you would respect our lands and not defile our sacred soil with your trespass. The woman clenches her jaw. His mouth will quiver under the pressure. Till, suddenly, calm returns to expression. You have no bonds of kin or kith with the looters. I will give you a chance to prove it. He draws one of his swords, and with a swift, arching motion points it to the ruins beyond. Invaders must be purged from all lands. Prove your worth, and we will believe your words. Tell me about mercenaries, raiders, looters, same as all the other dry wooden thieves that pillage our lands. The woman touches the oblique stub where half of her ear used to be. We tracked the dry woodens from the first step beyond the great river. I waited for them to err. They always do. We claimed half the pack in our first assault. The cowards then ran, now huddled to the nose. When the wind turns, you will smell their fear. Why don't you deal with them yourself? Woman runs a finger along her lower lip, looking at you through narrowed eyes. I gave you an order. Accept it like a grown hunter or refuse it like a mewling child. Don't question my will. If they surrender, will you let them live? Softness, such as yours, will not bring them to heel. Their greed knows no bounds. Their memory honors no history. But you have of prisoners. What example do we set to others by letting them live? Why would we forgive again? I'll see what I can do. She sheathes her sword and reaches to a stick. The animal lowers its head. Gentle, strong. We wait here to welcome you back as warrior and friend. Honestly, I can understand where they're coming from, and makes a fair point. These are their lands, these are their laws. The looters knew what was coming the very fucking moment they stepped their foot inside his land. Why we should feel much in the way of mercy for them is far beyond me, honestly. And I don't feel like murdering all people of Twinhams for no bloody good reason. I mean, at least give me a fucking good reason to do so.
Hey.
Stop. Friend of all, the man in blood-soaked armor points his blade at you. As his wounded and weary comrades flock into position behind him. A trickle of blood runs from a cut on his brow down to his neck, staining a locket worn on a gold chain. You're not Glenfersen, he tightens the grip on his sword's handle. By Magrin, friend of all, I said. Oh. The man brings his fist to his lips and kisses the locket. Sarita. Raise him strong. He rips his blade with both hands and fixes his eyes on you. I mean, someone has to die here, I'm sorry to say, and point being, it's not gonna be me.
Yes.
I will, however, point out that you made a very obvious mistake, my friend. And it is, you came to this lands where you're not supposed to be. And it is their laws now that are going to apply to you. If you like that or not. Oh, for fuck's sake, this is gonna be annoying. Could you stop, for the love of God? The whole running around. You're not supposed to do that, you know. Quite annoying if they do. I'm kind of running out of good options here. And then they are kinda in a problematic situation. Oh no, you don't. That's not a fucking disengage. I'm not disengaging here.
Yeah.
I I mean, come on, that is not... You can't reasonably call that a fucking disengage. We're nearly close enough for that to be a disengage. Well, the laws of the land. They might not be the nicest ones, but, you know, they are the laws and we shall apply them. I mean, to be completely fair with you and level with you, I had a problem with this quest from the beginning because it seemed like a fucking idiotic issue the barbarians, but you coming here into their lands and pretty much proving to them that they are fucking right about you. Doesn't really make for a good argument now, does it?
Indeed.
Now then, you wanted some dead people? You got some dead people.
Estremor?
A woman stands next to the creature stag, patting its sick neck. She turns her head in your direction and gives you a nod of approval. We witnessed the assault. You would make a strong hunt master, leaving the enemy behind. She walks toward you. You have our gratitude, Estremor. We could have dealt with the looters on our own. You have spilled blood in our name. We honor such sacrifices. Glory of your assistance, and to offer you strength for your next hunt. I wish to share with you either our craft, our skill, or our bounty, whatever you feel is most worthy of you. If you're offering to teach, I will learn. Objects can be lost or broken. Knowledge never loses its value. She steps in close and presses her hand to your navel, pushing on your center of balance. When you spar with as many Orlans as I do, you learn the hard way to be mindful of where you place your legs in a fight. And mindful of how easily your foe can shatter your control. Nice. Over a few hours of sparring, she shows you numerous agility and coordination exercises, and discusses at length the footwork she uses for every strike. After your training, you feel a greater degree of confidence in your ability to defend yourself when disengaging from a fight. It is rare for us to find new friends amongst Restramon. My thanks will speak well of you, and we will await the day our paths cross again. She turns to her group and gives them a short command. The soldiers depart, the red stag quickly following after, as the fangs disappear into the dense cover of the Northwheel's foliage. Was this the right solution then? I don't really think there is a right solution here, honestly. Somebody would die anyway. I mean, I'm sure there's some way to make this nice, presentable and undeadly, but let's just say we all knew this would end with blood. And apparently the little one has also moved away. So let's check out the rest of the ruins then. I do know that there's a force lurker somewhere there. I have seen as much already. There. We do know there are some more enemies on this map, and technically speaking there's also a bounty somewhere on this map, so who knows? We shall find out one way or another what is left of this map. I see added person, I see added person. Also somebody I can apparently read the soul of. Do like that. An elder Stilgir. Well, is he alone? Is he together? Is he...
Onward!
Of course he's not alone. Who am I fucking kidding? I should have absolutely foreseen this. Well, should have, could have, you know, all the good stuff, but did not. That's the point. They do love those little druid spells, I'll admit. They are fun and nice and dandy, but they really make it easy. Which, to be fair, you know, proves the worth of the class, and also kinda always brings me to the point where I'm like, yeah, I kinda don't want to play one, but bit like with the tentacle spell, you know, I'm well aware that I still have it, I'm well aware of just how dangerous that thing is. And so I'm actively trying to not fucking overdo it. Actually, that Selga. Ah, that leads down to the person, so I guess the person down there is the one who hunted this one. Over a ground, hardened by dry blood and stumped leaves, the corpse of a giant Stelgar crawls with flies. Its flesh has been pierced and cut, it is stabbed by spears and slashed by swords. You touch the dead Stelgar's flank. A cloud of flies stirs into the air. Suddenly, you feel the creature's remaining essence. The world around fades away. The pack rests. Rocks shelter the young, full bellies. You turn away and look beyond the trees. The moon breaks over their swaying canopy. The scent in the air stirs a tingling in your mouth. You slide into the shadows, the taste of hunt filling your nostrils. Light shines on the stones by the water that falls. Prey down below, two-legged, hair like dry grass. Moves near the water that flows. Thin legs, slow, noisy, unaware. Holds a sharp stick. Two-legged hunter, weak hunter, prey. Closer, prey. Bright moon, prey. Into the dark. Pain, pain on your side. A sharp stick pokes out of your flank. You roar and shake it. It snaps, breaking on the stones. Wet stones, your blood. Leaves rustle, you look. Another two-legged, another hunter. Big legs, silent steps, stripped face, strong hunter, enemy. You leap, aiming at its neck. It moves, fast. Your claws find flesh, ripping it deep, ripping it down. Wet leaves, two-legged blood. It howls, it fights back. Long claws cut through the air. They slash at your flesh. More pain, sharp pain. You strike, it strikes, hot blood on your claws, hot cuts on your chest. The world goes red. Your strength fails, you can't breathe. The two-legged hunter looks down. Wet ground, our blood. Sharp stick above its head. Bright moon above its head. Strong hunter. World goes dark. Silver's like, well, I had a good life and I had a good last hunt. I'm happy. Well, I mean, as happy as a dead creature can be. With being happy. Very natural way to die as a predator. And we're still looking for a little bounty, so I wonder where we will find that one. Actually, which one do we look for? A death when a strange murderous cult of druids. Fuck's sake. Cult of druids. For fuck's sake, this is gonna be a pain in my ass to deal with if there are a whole fucking bunch of them. Oh look, it's a cave. I'm totally going to feel good and well, truly nice about going inside there. Oh boy. Oh boy, indeed. Beetle shell. Is a tight and productive shell. Nature spawn, but of returning storm. Or storm into being, striking a random single enemy in the area of effect periodically with bolts of lightning that stun and deal shock damage.
Need something?
You mean it's not a relentless storm?
I'm here.
It's still a storm spell. And theirs have proven to be somewhat devastating, haven't they? I mean, yeah, as I said, it's kinda, you know, it's making you misused them a bit. Maybe overused them a bit. Maybe, but still. I wasn't supposed to use them. They weren't in the game now.
Thoughts must.
Do, 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 do. Oh, then let us actually, you know, save a few of our good spells. I mean, we quite literally do not have any reason to, you know, waste our spell power on something that we can kill that easily.
I shall.
I'm sure we're not yet done with the cave now, are we? Corrupt Druid, yeah. This is precisely what I was expecting, sadly enough. Now then, let's try and make this smart. This is gonna be a pain to make smart.
Love. Be a saint.
Mostly because of that nonsense, yeah. Oh boy. Now then, I want to see the storm. Try and get closer, please, because we need you to do some nice, good and old-fashioned murder. Oh well, rather than murder, you know, damage. Get as close as you fucking can, please. Heal yourself, heal yourself. You're poisoned, that is not good. Use the indignation. Use one of the mightier spells we have at our disposal. You use another healing. Actually, use the healing back here. But then the poison still continues to eat my fucking soul. Not really the definition of good.
My spirit wanes.
Well, I'd imagine so. All of the spirits are waning. But I would say, all things considered, this worked rather well. Now then, let's wait until the effects actually
Indeed.
go off. Then, I mean, this could have gone a lot worse. Could have gone a bit better. But as far as tactics go against fucking spellcasters, this was not bad. Actually, we also dealt with the actual target, the named NPC, relatively easily and relatively quickly, which probably helped along. Also, those druids did not cast many spells. That too was a quite advantageous thing for us, because oh boy. Sadly, the way things were set up, I kinda doubt the tentacles would have helped much. Saddening as that is. Now let's make a save, because I am afraid of losing all of my progress. I've gotten a good way, a good distance basically, and I would not like to waste it. I can see some enemies. And I can see some beetles.
Need something?
How bad?
Probably not the best idea to fight while you are this weekend. And then again, what can you do? What else can you actually do? How long to put quick slots in the party are filled with wondrous nectar. It can be consumed for combat bonuses and healing. All for the primordials, through which transfer from nature together into the physical form, random oozes and slimes. Sundance. Okay, I should probably have ordered you to do that before I turned you into a giant monster. Yeah. Of course not. Did some model just fly away? Quite literally. I don't know why the Adra bugs have decided to run around like idiots, but I they're gonna regret that. Oh well, they could regret it if they weren't all dead. Which they are.
Indeed.
The clouds above the cliffs of the North will reflect on the iridescent surface of this pillar of Adra. Where the fuck is this going? Winding stair hugs the cliffside, providing an impressive view as you work your way higher and higher. Not too far along the path, however, you find your progress interrupted. A large boulder appears to have fallen onto the road from somewhere up above. It now sits squarely in your way. Examine the area. The boulder is nearly flush with the cliff face, preventing you from passing by on that side. Along the edge of the cliff, however, there's a narrow space. There's wide enough to follow across to the other side. Boulder's landing has crushed the steps beneath it, however. Okay, let us not go there. The nest yet. That is probably leading up to Bird Lady's temple. Leia, I think, is the name. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was. Well, we have done our last bounty. That is good. So basically, as long as we're, you know, gonna get the Nuntros too, we have a whole area of criminals actually done with. Did we just murder that in... Jesus Christ, you fucking murdering poor little bears. At least young bears. Jesus Christ, you're murdering those fast. You're doing a nice lot of damage now. Jesus Christ, though. Bit overkill. Honestly, I don't think there's much left of the area. I mean, in the water itself, there should still be some forest lurkers. I have seen as much, so there's still stuff to kill. Put it like this, but honestly, not overly much. Yeah, let's avoid the nest for now. We have yet to speak with Hylia, as in, you know, as much as you can speak with the gods. I mean, if she's not willing to tell me anything, I'm just going to go up there and murder everything that crosses me. as per usual and standard adventurous code. If it moves and it is not immediately friendly, you murder it first. And you ask questions very much second. Or even later. What is that? This spear, broken in half, has ornate Glanfason etchings along the two halves of its shaft. Red wood shows dents, stained green with moss, probably from impacts against the river's rocks. I'm sure that is part of some other quest, isn't it? I'm relatively sure. The inscriptions on these altar, almost unreadable under a layer of thick moss, play homage to Hylia. They're like bird lady pretty, bird lady nice feathers, bird lady all the feathers in the world. 'Tis the bird lady. Also, well, all things considered, and when I only could project half, I finally started working on that particular backlog. I have a backlog spanning for over 4 years of animes that I'm supposed to watch, you know, that's a lot of anime series. If I don't think I will ever in my life be able to finish my backlogs if I continue working like this, basically. I mean, sure, if I were to fall sick or something and would then end up with an S-load of extra time, maybe, but then again the problem is, and that is something I learned from experience, when I'm actually sick, I'm sick, and I'm not really feeling it, and even if I were to try and work my way through something, it would not serve any purpose, because I would actually not be taking in any information. It's a lot more than I was initially expecting. Okay, let's split up a bit. Let's make this smart. I mean, technically speaking, the rain blades should not have much of a problem with my electricity usage on them. Wrong spell. Partly though it works rather well in taking care of him. It's actually somewhat surprising. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll take it. I'll take it. As per usual, I'll take whatever I can get my little hands on. Advantageous, but I mean, you know, all in moderation. And the Mother Stone. I mean, I was not really expecting much else, but I don't know. Should turn Stelga and go for attack, because that should do more than enough damage. Yeah. I was kinda expecting her to go down, honestly. And she went down. Like I expected. It is good when you actually can plan that. Somewhat. And this is a good...
Let the Catman sniff out any trouble.
Catman? Which Catman? Oh, you're talking about... Ah, okay, yeah, probably him. Okay, Catman? What are you talking about? Have you deluded? Well, I'm talking to... Durance? Yeah. Beneath the raging waterfall, the corpse of an elven Glanfason hunter lies shattered against the rocks. Broken bones protrude through its skin, but you also notice deep, parallel cuts in the rotting flesh. The slashes trace almost every part of the body, as if it had been ravaged by a dozen blades. This man probably died before his fall from the cliffs above. Touch the dead elf's forehead, droplets of water glistening down its purple surface, and feel a sudden jolt from the hunter's lingering essence. The world around you fades away. You're walking among the underbrush without making a sound. Moonlight catches sight of your arms, shining them pale, but you quickly dart again into the shadows of the giant trees of the Northweald. Your blood brother is not so deft as you expected. Look at him, frail, unaware. He doesn't deserve to share the glory of this hunt. Been countless seasons since a stelga like this one, twice the size of his lesser kin, has roamed the forest near Twin Elms. Arwen fell for the trick. You almost feel pity for him. You're convinced yourself that he'd only get in the way once the killing begins. You'll be safer by the river, expecting that we'll flank the stelga when it comes out to drink. This kill will be only yours. The stelga is larger than you imagined. It stands without fear atop the waterfall's ridge, its silhouette cutting a monstrous hole against the mantle of the night sky. A beast of legend, a true hunter. Your hand tightens around the shaft of your father's spear. The weight feels balanced, just right, as you prepare to throw. You put everything into it. The spear flies true. It hits its mark. The stelga didn't even hear a sound. Its blood spills bright on the rocks. Yet it stands unfazed. The beast pounces. Moonlight shines over its great fangs. Your hands draw your blades without a second thought as you lunge forward to meet this monster. It's fast. Ripping your flesh apart, you step at the darkness engulfing you. Deep, again and again. There's no slowing its embrace. Phew, your own arrogance murdered you, eh? You had a friend with you, you could have probably been actually using a bit of a tactic, but you did not. The boot lays half buried in mud in the riverbed. It had been flushed from upstream. And it's basically the tracing up, eh? The leather pack, its belongings washed down the current of the river, gleams like a wet rock. So basically, at some point in the future, we're probably going to be looking for that guy. Just remember where he is for now. Should be enough. Let's not go up there yet. So what it means is we don't have many options left. What do we have here? 5 years ago, 12 senior monks of the Ixtlochi began a silent pilgrimage into Titlectuan, forbidding hills plagued by severe weather that locals believe are cursed by the gods. The monks were supposed to emerge from their retreat this year, but they have not returned. An expedition of novices into Titlectuan discovered their camp, but they were shocked to find only hollow skin shells, their masters sitting in a circle, frozen in their meditative poses. The inner circle of the Ixtlochi theorized that the masters have transcended their previous physical forms, maybe wandering the eastern reach. They have sent word to the various lords in Rezeris and the Drywood that the Ixtlochi would very much like to be reunited with the masters, so the wisdom can be passed to a new generation. Okay. Who would be good for that? Honestly, you are a monk, so Zahua shall go do the Zahua. Basically. Now then, we are avoiding you because we have not yet talked to your mistress. I guess we can go to Old Song and actually, probably better to go to Half Song, take a break at the inn, then go to Old Song. We will try going to the Burial Isle if they let us. I mean, technically we don't have a good reason to go there, so maybe they're like, no. Bad Astromore? Shoot, go away. While spraying us with a little bottle and going like, psh, psh, psh. Here, take some water to face, now run away. Now then, up and into the inn we shall go. And then we shall travel once again. After all, I have a plan. It is always good to have a plan, isn't it? Ah, nice. Very nice indeed. Yes, Hello, little inn. Ah, I need a place to sleep. Actually, I'm probably not going to meet that woman again, am I? The one that was up here and asked for my help. Yeah, I kinda figured that would be the case.
Hail, traveler.
I'd like a room, please. Give me the celestial suit. I think we deserve that much. Yeah, you always come with rare stuff to me. I shall buy your rare stuff. I'm not even going to look much at it. I'm just going to buy it first. I can always look later.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Top AI.
Hey.
He's like, I'm just going to run against this nice little... well, hindrance in my way. I shall continue to do so forever. He probably would have done that.
I'm here.
Just to annoy us. Now then, to the old strong distribution go. Before that, I need to take a piss. Give me a second. Oops. So. Yeah, it feels better. Much better. Now then, time to go back to Old Song. And deal with all of this nonsense. Yeah, first let's check out if we can go to Imperial Isle. Then Noonfrost, then the world. Oh. This too is probably going to be annoying. There's probably going to be ice elemental in there. And lots of them, I can only imagine, but yeah, that's what's gonna be. And they're like, you can use this boat. And I will use this boat. Apparently not even anyone's going to bother stopping me. Like, yeah, this is one of our most holy places. I'm just walking in there like, well, sure. Doorbell greets you with the same quiet smile. Have you finished your business here? I haven't even started.
Does look like Theos' kind of place.
Wait, is this part of the main quest then? Speak with the Dillamgen at Teevran in Elm's Reach. Strange mixes to the old song Elm's Reach. Speak with the Dillamgen sisters in Elm's Reach, near a place called Teevran. Sure, no, technically speaking, This is not where we're supposed to go yet. But yet, this kinda seemed to be the place where our enemy would be, wouldn't it be? Gonna take care of all of them. And we dealt with all of them. Okay, wasn't the most beautiful way of dealing with them, but the problem with ghosts is they don't care about who is standing in front of them. If they want to pass through, they're gonna pass through. Problem. Just stage light problem, because that means all tactics are basically out of the window anyway, so screw your tactics. Basically, is what it comes down to. Like positioning, like using your peeps in a, you know, somewhat reasonable tactical formation. What are you even talking about? I kinda do somewhat remember being here. I do remember this being somewhat part of the main quest, yes. Last Blade of the White Forge. Thank you. Very nice of you to just let that sit around for no good reason. Oh, let me guess, this is actually the dead bodies I'm plundering. Like, yeah, this is where we have our ceremonial dead bodies. All ceremonially laid up and laid bare. And I come along and be like, what? I'm gonna steal your stuff now. You have a problem with that? Oh, okay. That is very nice of you. Very understanding. The Grotto of Echoes, apparently. Money. One can never have enough money. Mostly our exploration has so far worked rather well, actually. Oh, I get visions. Again. Was it just me, or have many great people around here been murdered somewhat brutally? Usually by either, you know, strapped on a table, burned at the fire, at a stake, something. Was it just me? Maybe it's just me. The amount of visions we get about that particular thing seem to enhance. Just saying, you know. I do love this guy's little spell. I do love it very much so. It does some horrible things to my enemies. Damage plus being paralyzed. Oh boy. Has there ever been a better way of annoying people? What is this? Can I climb this? You venture through a doorway into an underground tunnel. A staircase curls upwards, leading to a dim passage. On the upper level, light filters through the collapsed ceiling. A wall of piled stone and rubble blocks the way ahead. Clear the rubble with a pry bar. You rush your pry bar against a large stone. Put all your weight into it. The earth has dislodged the boulder that rolls free with a heavy groan. Other slabs and chunks of debris begin to break away. The massive pile creaks and rumbles, threatening to lose 1,000 pounds of stone around you. The debris tumbles down. You lunge through the narrowing gap. However, Durance isn't fast enough and disappears behind the falling rocks. Durance emerges from a cloud of dust, hunched over and creating tender ribs. Light breaks into the tunnel up ahead, growing brighter as you continue. Soon, the passage ends, opening up high on the cliffside of the burial isle. And into an enemy. Project! Now then, rinse and repeat as usual. The tactics we have so nicely mastered over the time. Have you really been fucking frozen in place before you could do this? Oh, for fuck's sake, this is the definition of not good. This is indeed what I would like to call the definition of not good. Time to turn into a Stelga and really murder some things. Murder the Spectre. We did well. Hello, Mr. Shillington. You have a girdle.
Indeed.
Well, why not? I'll take it. This is apparently the upper level of the Burial Isle. Exploration. Exploration, very much so. More dead bodies to plunder, I mean that's always nice. I do like loot. How many fucking people have you put on the fucking stakes? Jesus fucking Christ, people. I'm willing to overlook some things, but
I'm here.
you have quite literally overdone it.
Hey.
What?
Your thoughts.
It's such a nice combination, isn't it? Just I turn him into a murderous beast, while I'm also making use of the electric shocks he can pull out. Such an overpowered combination of moves. Ay, 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 ay. I mean, I'm assuming that druids, at least in the beginning, are not as strong, but I can see them turning into real beasts really soon, really fast. I don't know if that was intended, actually. Yeah, it seems like a kind of bad combination.
That didn't work. Need to try something else.
I mean, come on, it's not like we have much problems. Okay, so I can basically climb from here to up here. But I don't really need to, because honestly, you can just follow the normal way too. But the normal way does come with the disadvantage of having enemies around, but I have not yet proven to be, you know, overly worrying for me. I guess I just can't see this as free XP. Also, I'm going to assume, at least, that not just every bloody nonsense creature is going to respawn, so that we have to kill them over and over again. I'm going to assume here. Be not out the window and be like, yes. Assumptions, assumptions. Okay, that kinda only leaves this stair up. And this definitely looks like it would lead to a boss area or something. Well, we shall find out, shall we not? Probably a better idea to make a little save game.
No time to lose nerve now, Watcher. What's one more trial for a soul on the brink of doom?
Every wrinkle and boil carved into a Vedic statue looks painfully familiar. Yeah, this really looks like the sort of area where it's like, yes. This way to the final area of the game. Let us avoid the pit and pretend that we have never been here. Now then, as for the Noonfrost, which is our next target. Yes, it is. And the next, I mean, yes, I can do this. But we would definitely have to talk with the goddess herself before that, or I should probably do that. Just going out there and killing the dragon is probably not the best way. Probably. I mean, I don't know. Yet. Oh, actually split up, eh? I mean, I don't care as long as I don't run into any enemies. That is not really a problem. We should have, technically speaking, murdered them all. Should have. Now then, are we wounded overly much? I don't think so. And we might actually be able to rest into the temple if it turns into a combat area. I don't know. I don't trust it. I mean, I also don't trust the temple, but alas. Also, I have a surprisingly little amount of areas left in Winners. Excuse me. So that is something. And he's like, ow, my ribs. Celestial shoot resting bonus. Bruised ribs. That's great. Great fun. I know game, I know. Though my companions do that luckily enough rather rarely. They're not wasting my time. Overly much, at least. Low ice area. The pale elf searches you with ice blue eyes. She shifts and knits her fingers together. Welcome to Noonfrost. Most of the temple is currently closed for sacred ceremonies to Rimgrand. She forces a smile and waves to the eastern doorway. The shrine is to your right. You're welcome to make your offerings to Rimgrad there. The rest of the temple is off limits. Tell me about Rimgrad. He's the god of cold, entropy, and collapse. Many see him as a harsh god, but few recognize that he also gives life in his own way. All things wind to a merciful end in his shadow, only to feed creation elsewhere. She frowns, gnawing her lip, but he is a silent god, and his ways are mysterious. To follow him is to accept inevitability and without explanation. In this matter, and in the legacy, it seems the gods are often silent when we most crave guidance. Eyes dart between the two doors on either side of the room. That is all. Why is most of the temple closed? As I said, we're in the middle of sacred ceremonies. She enunciates carefully. They're rather complex, and we don't permit outsiders to witness them. She glances at the elves over her shoulder. Others of my clan get rather touchy about them, which is why you should visit the shrine and take your leave. What are you doing here? My clan journeyed from the White that wins to pay homage to Rimgard here in Noonfrost. We learned that this place had been abandoned for several years, and we felt it our duty to tend to one of our god's oldest temples. She rolls her shoulders back. It has been a long journey, but Rimgard demands endurance. No doubt you will reward us. It seems the cold has spread from Noonfrost. She stiffens. Rimgard is the god of winter. It's been many years since this temple was attended, so there's nothing strange about a little chill around the place now. She lowers her head. If it bothers you, then perhaps you should go. Pale Elf Paladin, Pale Elf Vanquisher. That all sounds like people that are probably going to try and murder me, doesn't it? This sounds like there's gonna be a lot of combat encounters. Water of this well has frozen solid, stripping small fish from the lake underneath the temple. Oh yeah, there's gonna be lots of combat here. I can already foresee that. And these seem to have quite a few groups actually, that's a problem. Old Wanderer. Venturing beyond all doors is forbidden. Do not trespass against our will. I shall not do so now. It's not for the moment. Each line and wrinkle of this warrior's weather-beaten throne has been chiseled in the ice. I will point out that I can quite literally pick the lock of your doors. No further! Turn back and do not cross any doors. The halls beyond us belong to Rimgard and is faithful. I feel like something is wrong here. I have yet to find out what. Pages of this tome glisten under a thick layer of frost. I will find out, however. Honestly, I think this up here is probably the only way we can pass without getting detected immediately, and I kinda would like to avoid getting detected immediately. Now, let's see. Usually they don't have much of a problem with me picking locks.
I shall do as you ask. What you ask is done.
Ah, well. Well, I guess it's a good way to learn just how tough my little enemies are gonna be. Also, I don't think we could stick through here without getting in some trouble. At least out of this. They are a lot tougher than I had hoped. That's gonna be a bit of a problem. Go down, please. Now let me remind you, I am not really
Indeed.
expecting that we could solve this problem without a good bit of bloodshed. So vanquishers are basically paladins, yes? Yes, of course. Silent Scream. No, do you have something even more annoying? But I mean, I do have my own paladin, so for now. It's not like I'm not aware just how murderously good paladins can be at dealing damage and the like.
I'm here.
I sure hope that I'm actually right with my ideas here. Because otherwise I'm just busying myself murdering an assload of innocent people.
Something here calls to me.
Yes, it's a fucking trap. A young Orlin scrambles on the stone floor, pressing her back against the wall and baring her teeth at you. Her fur is patchy and matted. To step into the room, she squints and turns her large ears towards you. Heavy sigh escapes her tiny body. Beasts take me. My eyes mistook you for one of them. Please get me out of here. What happened to you? When Uthros began freezing the lake, my sister, Laha, sent me to seek out the cause. A Palef Estramon seized me before I could report back. These pillars are behind it. They showed up in Twin Amps not long ago, saying they wanted to see the upkeep of Moonfrost. I don't know how, but he opened the frost-hewn breach at the back of the temple. Sucks warmth and life straight into their frost god's barren domain. Got to be stopped. It's only a matter of time before the cold spreads further. Tell me about the people that captured you. A clan of Peleys from the White Dead Winds, devotees of Rimgod, or so they claim. The actions suggest other intent. They've come ready to fight. Wizards, priests, and paladins. A wizard named Glassfell leads them. The man himself with the frost-hewn breach. Yes, hear him through the wall, casting spells and calling upon strange powers. I don't know what he wants with it, but no good can come of it. Can you tell me anything about the frost-hewn breach? Not really. Something to do with Rimgund, the beast of winter. I follow Galawain myself. Then save yet. Wait here until I clear the path. Please hurry. And so we now have finally good reason. So something was amiss. And, well, do we really need to know more? The answer to that is rather obviously we don't. We don't really need to know more. You know, all we have to know. And now we shall murder the rest of them and find out why they're trying to
do as you ask.
basically
What you ask is done.
bring eternal winter to around this area.
Hey.
Doesn't sound pleasing at all to my eyes. Yes, and anything else. I think for once a few spells are in order. Oh, paladins are going to be a pain in the ass. Can't really hit. I could turn you into close quarters combat, but that's not going to work, so... Continue to do annoying amounts of damage to the enemy. Yeah, this is precisely what I wanted to avoid, actually, because they are not primary healers, but paladins can heal. And they will. Do we have any nice spells here? I really want you to get too close to that one. It's gonna hurt some of our own, but alas, so be it.
Need to try something.
Well then. Good, dealt with that, and we still have a lot of, an assload actually, of enemies.
Indeed.
That I know of, at least. Where's the little Miss Healy? Are you the healer? You're probably one of the healies. Priest. Yes, make a fall, please. Otherwise, this could end up being a bit annoying. Because after all, she can heal. Healing. Healing is annoying. I'm pretty sure she was the one that would come up here.
I'll do as you ask.
Or at least that is not going to be a problem.
What you ask is done.
A blue crystal key. Nice. Now I know that in the main room we have enemies, and I know that down here enemies, and in front of the door enemies. Basically everywhere around us are enemies. Now the good thing is, of course, when you know that, you can plan ahead. Well, somewhat at least. That was sadly not precisely how I planned it, but alas. Will not be overly much of a problem. Yet. I mean, since we technically can have these nice adventures, why not make use of that?
Bring your end.
Then again, I'm kinda happy if they actually come out in ones or twos, you know, instead of fighting me in groups. I'm not against that at all. In fact, I find that to be rather enjoyable.
Hey. Oh, alright then.
Now, of course, we shall hit the fucking healer first. I mean, obvious choice. Even half a brain cell still left working. It should always be what you aim for. Oops, wrong one. I don't want you to heal. Yeah, but just stop healing. It's gonna get annoying really, really quickly. Haha, your friend is helping us now. He's helping us murdering you. I do love turning the enemy into my friend and using them.
Indeed.
Then again, as you can see very clearly, healers are a pain in the ass. And that quite literally will not change, ever. I call them priests, I call them clerics, because I am far more used to the idea of clerics, and clerics are a pain in the ass.
Hey.
I bring your end.
This is here.
I
Try to block them in. Oops, wrong spell. I mean, spell, quote unquote. Some indignation, some nonsense, you run forward. And use that. After all, the main idea here is to get them most definitively from doing their nonsense, their healy nonsense, to each other, because that makes combat annoying. Quite fucking annoying. What else do we have? We have Phantom Bows, and we have the Amplified Thrust. Yeah, scare them. I'm sure that works wonders against paladins, who are well known for being very much fearful. Okay, focus. Focus. Focus down the last one. Come on. Ball. Okay, it kind of leaves us with one singular area that we still need to explore. Apart from when we need to kill the main hall. Which is going to be the real pain in the ass challenge if memory serves. Let's actually plan around this a bit. Make it smart. Oh boy. Now that. All things it needs to be sorcery. Pulling sorcerer is not nearly as easy. It's also going to be a pain if I try to stay inside the.
I bring your end.
He's just gonna stay there. Like an idiot. Which on one hand works rather well for us. Most definitively not that easy to deal with. We are kinda losing out here though. It is of course not good. Also, I'm apparently not the only one who uses such nice little tricks. Can't really pass through there, I see. Use of that, and I don't think we really need that anymore. Yes, murder the last one, and I think we have gotten ourselves some room to move. Some wiggle room, basically. In the most brutish version imaginable. Exact. Of course, there's still more around. Now, if I attack you, let's see how many more of you are actually there. That's a surprisingly little amount.
I'm here.
That was indeed nice. Nice and murderous. Also, I'm sure they got, well, at least the gods they pretend to follow. Not gonna be very pleased if somebody tries to break into his fucking domain. Without very, very, very clear.
I'm here.
Allowance. That sounds rather horrible. Whatever's going on, it's probably not going to be pleasing to me. Ulu them, you're dead. You're just a sorcerer. Your health points are not that great, my little one. That is most definitively not gonna go that well. That's also not really how I had intended to solve this problem. Why can't I take control of you? No one really knows why, but it's just not working. Do we have more of this? Yes, we have. The fact that I can't use this again is kinda annoying me though. And she goes down like a sack of shit. That is not good. Okay, maybe running in there like an idiot is not going to be much pleasing solution. Actually, one of the pale healers is right now my friend, which is rather fun as usual. Because he's now going to use his healing spells for me. Turn into a monster, please. I do try to remember what's left. Apparently, without even wanting to, we found the way forward.
Indeed.
I was actually not even going for that at this point.
What you ask is done.
But alas, I've done so. Now then, let us hope that there aren't that many enemies left. I have murdered quite a few at this point, so
I shall do as you ask.
one can hope.
What you ask is done.
After all, hope is a thing. Quite a useful little thing. Open sesame. Roar.
I shall do as you ask. What you ask is done.
Thick patches of fur cling to the tanned leather. Despite the chill, the bedrolls feel warm inside. I mean, probably because somebody slept in them, I'm going to assume. I don't really take a genius. Not with the white crystal key.
Do your eyes see what mine see?
Yeah. Giant frost boulder in my face. That's what you're talking about.
I fear we've lost the angry one.
I think we lost one of the angry
The
ones.
fluid has fallen.
Are we done yet? Taking enough damage?
Our
Sarcastic.
Good. Now I see that this would have probably been a shortcut. Yes, it would have been. Now, this is probably as good an opportunity as any to take a nice little rest, because I somewhat hurt. The morning is cold and silent. You're upon the plateau of the birthing bell. There's no sound, no wind. The sky is a smooth, smothered grey. The forest beneath the plateau, nothing more than a jagged black silhouette. Even the rock in the yard around you, it feels colder. Sun's warm, bled from it. Against the cold backdrop of the sky, you see the great birthing bell, hanging from its arch of Adra. Its surface is tarnished. The shadows inside the bell are dark, still. It seems to press down upon you. Or simply, sadly, watching. You're standing above a grave formed from the table of the plateau, the remains of the mother's womb that now covers its surface. There's something heavy in your hands. It breathes, gurgling, slick and wet. Yet that is all it is. You find yourself filled with fear. You don't want to look at what you're holding, you don't want to touch it with your mind, and it is all you can do not to cast it from you. Examine what lies in your hands. The mass before you is vacant, flesh in the shape of a newborn. Bubbles of saliva burnish at the mouth, expelled by its steady, gurgling breath. Arms, legs, head lolling, limp. No thought, no struggle, no desire to cry in protest or pain. Nothing from within. There's an absence in your hands. Your hands tremble, shake. The silence is broken. The chimes on your wrist echo with the trembling. The chimes do not echo in the thoughts of the mass in your hands. There's no soul within to hear it. Reach out with your thoughts. The only emotions blanketing the plateau are the pain of the mother. The child breathes, its heart beats, but it makes no cry. The child feels light, empty. There's no joy in it, no fear, no thoughts at all. Yet in the hollows inside it, it breathes. A thing of habit, not life. You cannot move. Your trembling has subsided. The bursting chimes on your wrists are still as the child. The mother is crying, eager to see, begging to see the child. You feel a sudden spike of fear, being hunted. You give the child to the mother, you will be blamed, and her anguish and rage will fall upon you. She will not spare you or anyone you love. This you are certain. But you did not cause this. You don't think you caused it. That the mother begs, her arms outstretched. Hand her the child. The chimes sound once more as you give the child to its mother, and as the chime fades, there's the eager gleam, wedding joy, the questioning. And you draw upon it deeply, letting the hope stream into her eyes, letting her ears fill with the cries that you have heard countless times past from other children on the bell. You hear the laughter in the mother's voice, and streams of tears that run down her face. And with a practiced motion, you weave a life that will never be into her eyes and thoughts. She will care for the child, so that we're whole, until you set her free. She will care for it until you find a way to heal what has happened, till the reality cannot be dispelled anymore. And still, cradled beneath the weeping woman that bursted, the child in her arms does not hear the cries of the mother, does not react. It is an empty thing that breathes, and there is nothing within it. The chimes on your wrists lie still. They are bound to you like chains, never to sound inside a newborn's mind ever again. It does not sound well.
Your mind comes bearing questions, Watcher.
Indeed. I saw a hollowborn at the birthing bell. The grieving mother's head bows, and she raises her hands, cradling them slowly, so the chimes do not sound as she moves them. You feel a chill in the air, as if the vault of your mind is growing, too large for the thoughts within, and your breath is laced with a chill. To your horror, you hear her breathing, ragged, hacking, but strangely steady. You see saliva bunching at the corners of her lips, wearing thick robes of drool that cast themselves down her chin. As the smell of blood in the air, new, wet, the salt, sharp tang in your mind. Coupled with this is the smell of sodden undergarments clawing at your senses. You are right. He doesn't answer. You don't think she even heard the question, or even knows someone is speaking to her. You sense no thoughts, no awareness from her at all. Her clothes are wet, as if she's burning with fever beneath her tangled hair, beneath her threadbare robes, as if she is giving birth. With a slow hissing intake of breath, her head rolls back on her shoulders, her eyes pressed tightly together, like the lids of a newborn. Yet past the lids, you feel a piercing stare, vacant, cold. Horribly, you sense nothing from her, not a thought, like the hollow bone you held in her memory. You know if you try and pull away now, she will vanish into herself, and vanish from your thoughts, perhaps forever. You have a terrible feeling that whatever connects the two of you will be cut. She is helpless before you as a child, and you search your thoughts for a way to coax her to you. It's a shared memory of peace and comfort. She jerks slightly before you, then her head tilts and the steady breathing breaks. She gives a wrecking cry.
Thought it was my doing. I thought that I had stilled it with my thoughts. The child. It was just a child. What was done with it?
It was a reverse of the previous memory. The child was born dead. Breathing steady again. There's a life in it, but there was not one before. Her emotions are building in her. Apprehension, confusion, welling up. She seems afraid to do more than simply be aware the memory is there.
It was not the last hollow born on the birthing bell. And never again did I hear a child's cry.
I found the death within me, one that many women have borne within them. The words swell with impulses and weight, spiraling around her. You feel as if you are being dragged into it. I thought of a woman in need, instead my hands ushered no new life. But next I bear the responsibility for. What happened next?
The first birth was the deepest, the saddest. Nothing I could do could find the child's spirit, guide it to him.
You feel a strange absence between you, as if your thoughts are being shared across a great distance. The thought bleeds out for a moment, then returns, sharp, near, personal. I could not understand what had happened, what I might have done. I feared would not dwell on that thought. The child was always there, always a reminder of what had happened, a marker. I made her care for it, I made them all care for it, till I could find a way. Find what had gone wrong. You made her care for it.
It was worse. I made her think it was whole, and then more births came to the bell, all as before, and many were the minds I had to change. A circle of...
But the Holobond, that wasn't your doing, you know? It happened elsewhere.
Little word of the outside world reached us. It was enough time for rage and pain and grief to guide hands. I feared what would happen to the children, what would happen to me. Every mother knows her womb may shed a stillborn, but these cold, soulless creatures, the parents wouldn't have understood, and fear of the unknown breeds violence.
That it does indeed. What happened then?
I held their minds within mine. I shaped and guided them as long as I could, and with each passing day, each new birth, the strain grew. And the more I felt my control slipping, the more I focused my thoughts. Eventually, even I succumbed to the power of my own illusion. I'd woven the threads so tightly that I could no longer see through them.
That's a problem. And then, one morning, I heard funeral bells tolling in the village. The sounds of wailing rose through the mists. A mother had died, her mind so focused on the care of her hollow-born child, she'd neglected even to feed herself. And with that, the illusion broke. The townsfolk saw their hollow bone the way they were, not the way I'd wished them to see. At the end of the day, they began to look at me differently too. Did not understand what had happened. But I knew enough to flee. Every suspicion that surfaced, every faded memory of what I've done, I pressed it down, tucked it away. She feels cold, lonely, rigid. My skill failed me, but I did what was necessary. I regret the mother's death. So much worse. Would it have been had I not acted? Well, I understand. You kinda had to defend yourself.
Yes. And yet, was the mother not also innocent?
Yep.
Did
Yeah,
she
she
not
was.
also deserve my protection? I feel the purity of my reasons, and yet little satisfaction for what I've done.
Well, that is how it usually is. You did what was necessary. That does not necessarily mean that you feel good about it. The right thing is not always easy, and yet if we can redeem the lost children of the Dryad, our struggle will be worth it. Yuri Mother's mind is silent, and still for several moments. She lets your words wash over her, seeping into the cracks in her own thoughts.
My actions only caused more misery. Worse, I took from an entire village.
Well, you
Made them
did your
as
best.
empty and helpless as the children I sought to protect. But you feel it was right to hold and direct their minds, even knowing the cost?
Well, you did not know the course then. We must often plot our courses with imperfect knowledge.
A tapestry woven thread by thread, never seeing the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So it is with the thoughts and dreams that move us, that shape our reality.
Yeah, that's a bit of the problem, isn't it?
Your words have soothed my mind, in ways I did not expect. I thank you, Watcher, for the gift of your sight, for using it to guide me out of the prison of my mind. Let us hope it can also free you from the illusions Theos has woven around you.
Oh, if he can try, we are pretty assuredly going to deal with that. Did that actually finish the quest? I think that actually finished the quest then. Nice. Apart from Duran's being an obstinate asshole with his little quest,
I'm here.
I've done pretty well solving this nonsense.
Of course.
Oh boy. Do you see combat? I see combat. As you near the platform, the temperature drops sharply. Something saps every last bit of warmth from the air, leaving the rest of your lungs cold as it escapes your lips. You see a doorway filled in with glowing eyes. Silhouetted against it is an elven man, his arms outstretched.
What have you done? This useless slaughter, Please, just let me finish what we came here to do.
The bailiff turns to look at you, exhaustion written on his elegant face. He rubs one red eye with the heel of his hand. You notice that his little finger has shriveled to a blackened knob. What's going on here? Reaching Otto Rimgran, the last way we know how. Please, I must concentrate. Release your captive, Alva. She will bring the fangs down upon us. She can't leave, not until our business here is done. Trust me, they'll certainly come if you keep her here. Says that you were blinking. I see your point. I see that the rest of my clan lets you, and the Glenfelsen leave in peace. I mean, you're not forcing me to fight. But I mean, I kinda got what I was trying to do. What the fuck are you trying to do, though? I'm somewhat interested. It does kinda look dangerous. Well, I mean, that's a bit of a problem. I mean, we kinda get what we came here for. Honestly, I don't really feel like doing a usual slaughter. It was a focused slaughter for a while, and now it's not any longer. As long as the people living here don't actively ask me. I convinced the bailiffs to let you go. The savages here reason. You must be smooth-tongued indeed. Thank you, Estramor. Be careful. I mean, I'm sure they have some reason for doing what they're doing, so as long as they're not going to cause any more trouble, I'm actually willing to let them be. And if the ice spreads any further, I'm pretty damn sure somebody's going to come along and murder the last few of them. So, you know, kinda not our responsibility here to make the final call. Well, it doesn't really help all the dead people along my way, but alas, some sacrifices shall of course always be.
As a kid, I figured I was too stupid and impatient to learn magic. How about you, Aloth? When you were a kid, did you dream that you'd live a life of arcane practice?
It was never my decision. But I've come to appreciate that it was made.
Yawn stands under the open sky, taking deep breaths of fresh air. Feels like I've been reborn. He thumped you on the shoulder. Come by the mouse sometime. The rest of the fangs will want to meet the cunning astronaut who freed me. I was just about to do that, actually. Going over to the mall and being like, hello people, I am a savior of people. Look at me, I'm awesome. Doop 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 doop. Priests are dedicated support spellcasters. While their spells often have limited range, they almost always affect the group and can provide myriad bonuses. Priests are a very devastating kind. They can heal as well as they can destroy, as I found. Then again, druids are better at the whole destruction part, at least when it comes to hindering my enemies, so... all is well. What purpose brings you here? I found Alba. Your own eyes have seen her. I freed her from Noonfrost. She's just enjoying the fresh air before she returns. You've accomplished a great service, for the Fangs and for me. Wrong about you, Estramor. I did not see you truly. Please accept the gift worthy of your honor and skill.
Hail, Estramor.
Good to see you again. How are you? All and well, thanks to you. Not that Lara's giving me a chance to rest. A sister makes me earn my keep around here. Been long enough stuck in a frozen cell, didn't you? Limbs need exercise now. Teach me what you know. As long as you can keep up. Nice. We learn ever more skills. Did it kinda... Yes, I think everything. I mean, we can still get the bounty. Cloud Singer, bird hard to find, highest mountains. They tends to live underbrush and usually near large outer structures. It took a fierce splint against the rock. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a pain in the ass. Let's actually look this up for once. What is it called? Songs of the Wild. Okay, kinda expected the Cloud Singer is of course in the temple, so we can't get that one. The other one is in Heart Song actually. Well, I guess we can take that while we go back to Cat Newer to get the bounty. A nice bounty. Yeah, we're taking care of this too, so another area of the Twin Elms is done and dealt with. That is fine. So now we go here. Then we go to Elmshore, collect the other one. And then we go to Katnua, get a bounty. Then I'm somewhat happy with what we have done so far. We are making progress. Lots of it, actually. Now, one of those homes is where we're supposed to get the little birdie. Do, 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 do. Doop, 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 doop. Hello, people. It is I again. Let us talk about Birdie.
Estremor.
Guaranteed me to collect rare songbirds. She stares at you blankly for a moment before shaking her head. That Fop de Lem sent you. No, absolutely not. Eating my beloved pet won't grant the full musical prowess. Everything you get is an upset stomach and the pain of passing a beak. There's a rose full of birds. Mine's not for sale. Why would Dana believe that eating the birds will help? Old folklore gone awry. Orlans, particularly those raised in the forest, still seem to believe that by eating noteworthy creatures they can gain the desirable traits of their prey. It's false. Eating a spider doesn't give you 8 legs any more than eating ivy lets you sprout berries. Who wants to be a better singer? You should try practice, not superstition. Enemies aren't ours to cage. I don't think you or them should have it. The bird should be free. Well, not like the bird is a prisoner. I mean, he has a little bit of room to fly in there. You just want me to set Beaker free so you can snatch him and send him to Dedham. Dedham isn't getting the bird. I'll release it somewhere safe. You won't have to worry about Mr. Beaker being unhappy. He's gonna keep me up all night. Just take him. Bring him into the forest and set him free. Nice, we got one bird. I'm kinda, however, starting to think that I will not give them the birdies, because, well, I'm not that much of an asshole. I will collect them, and then I will probably set them free again. Yeah, actually, I'm probably going to do that. It sounds a lot more reasonable. But hey, since collecting them is probably going to give me XP, I will do so. Elmshore, say, request page. Pretty sure the bird is going to be close to the Adra Arch. Because that is what we were told. It's hiding it because its feathers are the right color. So that's its survival strategy, to hide from the predators around. And the last one is exactly where you would expect it, in Elias' personal battle temple. Which of course is a bit of a problem, because I was not planning to go there, just yet at least. After all, I would very much like to know if we actually have to fight a dragon. I mean, maybe the dragon is just nesting there? Pretty sure that that dragon is, you know, maybe it's just laying eggs and that needed a place to be safe, and the goddess was like, you know...
This place, as beautiful as it can be with the...
No, maybe it's just an asshole. I mean, I have met many dragons that have just been general assholes. Surprisingly enough. Like, no, I murder them because I can. Actually, when I met it, I could actually look like, right, the four, where's Wharton? Long Hunt. Long Hunt. To the north side of the North Beat, near the entrance of Northwood Cave, where hunters, Fang Tribe have mortally wounded the white stag that Presok Soul inhabits. That's what Sagini will say to Perso. That will influence the game ending. Okay, so we actually could finish this one too just by going there. You know what? Shit, I'm gonna finish this if I have the option. Gets things done. Now, since we have now done everything for the Grieving Mother, we can.
I will wait in the place of your strength.
Yes, you will. Let's get this out of the way. Get this done with. We also don't need to care about her anymore.
It's glowing.
It should be glowing because we are fucking close to where we're supposed to be. Bling. Defensive bound. Plus 15 defense against area attacks and commits with defense. Predator sense. 50 damage against targets. 50 damage over time. Powder Burns. How can you do this? You're having using a bow. Uses a hunting bow or war bow. They can opt to fire 2 arrows with each shot. Each shot has reduced accuracy. Takes advantage of enemy destruction when engaged by the ranger's animal companion, stunning the enemy. It's a secondary attack when the ranger lands a hit or critical hit. I don't know. The ranger class does not really appeal to me that much. I mean, the whole animal companion thing. There it is. Kinda nice, kinda sweet, all well and dandy, but you know. Usually they are a rather mixed bunch that ends up there. I remember Didi was like, well, you get dual wielding for free, and I'm like, well, that's nice and dandy, I don't want it, but thanks anyway. Never was a fan of dual wielding. You come upon a clearing and see a group of glen pheasants standing in a circle. Sagani glances from the Adra statue to the hunters looking for a connection. Meanwhile, the hunters turn and notice you. Their bows are drawn. What are you doing here?
You mock us? Even the keepers of the stone will honor us after this hunt.
They step aside and turn to you. As they do, you see something on the ground behind them. Lying amidst the ferns is a white stag. Dark blood mars its brilliant coat. Its sides tremble with quick, shallow breaths. You feel a presence in the beast, something ancient and familiar. Before you can speak, something thumps to the ground. You look down, see the Adrobia, its bright glow flickering.
Arc's shadow.
Trini draws up behind you, her wide eyes fixed on the dying stag. Durant opens his mouth as if to rant on wasted time, or perhaps the animal's weakness. Something about the look on Sagani's face steals the air from his lungs, and he falls silent. One of the hunters takes a step forward. Sagani raises her bow, an arrow knocked.
Any closer and you'll bleed out next to him.
I never thought I'd prepared myself to meet a stranger. To share the honor and history of my village with someone who had no knowledge of us. Even someone who'd scorn our way of life. I was going to tell him about the years of abundance in Masuk, how his granddaughters have hunted caribou, and his grandsons made our walls strong. But he'll be gone in minutes.
Well, remind him of his impact on Masuk then. She kneels by the fallen stag. Placing her hand on its head, she begins speaking. She tells Persok of prosperous decades, the grain trade that has sustained them through long winters. Besides the story is told about him, it speaks of the new elders who have followed in his footsteps. Stag takes a final, shuddering breath and falls silent.
If you've finished your chanting, we need to get to work before the meat spoils.
Did your elders teach you even a mouse dropping's worth of decency? There will be other kills to dress and eat. but there will only be this one chance for Sagani to say her due respects.
Yeah, you know, you're actually precisely right.
Have you no respect? A great soul inhabited this body.
And it's gone now. What's left is our kill.
Yeah, but if you make one more comment like this, I am actually going to murder you.
Coming from people who revere stones and long-dead Audra.
It's not just worshipping stones, you fool. It's about respect for what was built by those who came before you. Persoc means to you what those long-dead Audra mean to us.
She slanders the builders.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you've performed your ritual, Sagani. Let them have
I
theirs.
see your point.
It is a fair point. I mean, to be fair, little Alden actually surprised me here. He did alright, technically speaking. I was like, yes, give her a chance to pay her respect, but also please respect ours then, in turn. Which is a good point. I don't feel the need to spill blood in this sort of circumstances. That would be quite mischievous and discourteous. That's not really something I'm planning to do.
Last thing the Deerwood needs is another foreign colony.
The word traveled and inquired all over the eastern reach to track down the missing monks. One by one, the monks came across Zora's path in a variety of forms. Some cave, some beasts, some in unique forms. Having apparently forgotten why they had set out on their meditation, the monks engaged the Hua in a protracted series of philosophical conversations. Ultimately, each monk traveled back through the mental labyrinth they had created, bringing a spontaneous realization and subsequent molting back into their original form. When they had all returned to their monastery, they presented the Hua with a chime. Each monk had donated one of the chime's 12 bells to the final instrument. The long king inward chime. And another quest done and dealt with. And in a peaceful way, mind you. Something I am somewhat pleased with, actually. Which leaves you, and honestly, well, I don't really like it from the perspective of just too powerful the spells, and I don't like this character overly much. I do find that was a rather nice thing. I think the last time I was at this, I didn't have him in my group. But it was a pretty damn good argumentation he brought there. A reasonable argumentation, even. Maybe we'll keep him around for a while. See how this goes. Of course, not Sagani. Sagani's gonna be gone. I don't know. She did not impress me. Also, the Ranger class did not impress me. That are 2 minuses. And in my world, 2 minuses do not equal A+. But yeah, not bad at all. We have done some nice progress. Nice progress indeed. We're going far. Very far.
Gods keep you.
I'm here for my bounty. You have any more bounties? Ah, great. Pack of wizards with a price on their heads. Bounty from the Gunpheasant tribes. Tangled with the Wizard before? No, I'm not. Tell me about the wizards. Now this one. Looks like someone crossed the Dominals. I Arcanist easily. She and a couple of wizards are holed up in the tower in Heritage Hill. Tell me about the Glenpheasant bounty. The bounty is for Narok the Prophet, the Glenpheasant exile. He was banished from his tribe by extreme views. Narok's a cipher, and it seems like he's taken an interest in an Ingwithian site north of Gilded Vale. Lease. Several tribes have pulled together to coin for this bounty. They say they don't want him tampering with some machine out there. Oh shit, that machine. Yeah, he should definitely not tamper with that. So, the Wolfrak. One of their exarchs, this Sercal, has turned up in Pearlwood Bluff with some of his kin. It was unsigned, but it seems like someone doesn't want him sticking around. Good, good. Means we have more bounties to hunt the next time. So, next time we're probably going to do this the very same way. We're going to go hunting some bounties, and then we're going to explore the last part of the Twin Elms village. I mean, has worked so far rather well, I'd say. I'm probably going to go for the very same tactic again. I would say. I'd say that is not a bad plan at all, so far. Tax collected. Lost 5 CP to bandits. Still collected 100. Oh, we're actually pretty damn good off, aren't we? We're only losing such a minor amount of money to the bandits. Anyway, I've done something good.
Farewell.
No. Don't think we can do much for you. We can't do much for you because we need to go start the second part of the White Marches for that. Could we take you? No, Kana. I think I'm gonna take the devil for the moment. No. But he goes into position. And we can level you up again. No, we can't because you're missing 1 point for that. That's saddening. No, then I'm pretty sure I gave you most of what I wanted to. One-handed style. Hits converted to crits with one-handed melee weapons. Kinda want to give her that, and kinda don't. Raw damage over time, that's nice. The envenomed strike, savage attack. Well, I'm gonna take the envenomed strike because that sounds like a fucking nice little thing to have around, honestly. Rest and the... You know what? Take the training. The 3 might sounds nice. But yeah, as you have probably figured from what I just said, this shall be it, folks. This be it. I shall have to bid you adieu for the moment. Mostly because I actually do have to get up in a few hours and I do need my sleep. I'm weak like that, I know. Saddening as that might be. But yeah, as usual, have a good one, of course, and all that, and yeah, thanks for dropping by. I do appreciate it. As Kitty, I know. You're gonna get something. Very, very soonish, very soonish. No. As I said before, tomorrow's gonna be a bit different, as I'm probably going to be starting a bit late. I mean, it kinda depends on how fast things go and how well things go. As is usually the case with such things as moving, they can go either well or short, and that is dependent on other people. I'm not going to make any predictions here. That's not a good idea at all. You know. But yeah, could be that I'm just going to be around in the early afternoon, could be a bit later, just so you have a general idea. I will be around, nonetheless, the latest in the evening. And I sure as hell hope that I can avoid that. But yeah, with that in mind, I said it's bye-bye for now. I would like to settle down. Yeah, that reminds me. I did do... Kitty goes wild. I did do most final testing, so once we actually get a good excuse to celebrate a bit, we shall play some Draken Card 3. It has been working rather well. So I will hope that it does when it actually is time to, you know, perform. No performance anxiety, I hope. Hope and dreams. Alas, we shall see. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Because that is the sort of game that, you know, takes the idea of innuendo, as in, you know, subtle ways of doing it, and is like, well, I want to do that, just without all of the subtlety. And smack dabbed you in the face with its stuff. Rachel joint. Sky penis basically slapping you left, right and center, just so you are well aware what we're talking about. Alas, fun it is though, I'll give him that much. But yeah, since we now have a bit of entertainment planned, you know what to expect. So, once again, let me say, thanks for dropping by, and bye bye, it shall be. Where's my button? There's my button.